Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And we just watched the Knicks lose a tight one to the Los Angeles Clippers, ladies and gentlemen. It was a wild game, to say the least. It was up and down all over the place. And it's a fun game to watch. I'll say that. It was a fun game to watch. Let's go ahead and break this thing down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check it out. Let's go.
That's the G.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks were in Los Angeles as they're going to play two games this week in Los Angeles. One was today at 3:30 versus the Clippers, and the other is Tuesday versus the Lakers. And it was a wild one, to say the least. As you watch right here, to get the show on the road, Marcus Morris says, "I've arrived in L.A., ladies and gentlemen." Marcus Morris had a game and put himself on display for the Los Angeles Clippers to salivate over that man. Trust me, they're salivating now. As Paul George knocked down the three to make the game 3-2. The Knicks on the break. R.J. Barrett, he needed a good game, and we got one today. R.J. Barrett scores on the fast break. The Clippers, Paul George comes back. He knocks one home. 7-6. Los Angeles Clippers, R.J. Barrett on the break again. Kind of a slow break, but he sidesteps and gets to the basket, knocking down two more. Put the Knicks up 9-7. Patrick Beverley, he was tough as usual. Frank Ntilikina, he knocks down a three to make it 12-11. The Knicks are up, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's 14-11. The Knicks are up. R.J. Barrett, once again, takes it to the cup. I like R.J. Barrett going to the basket. We need to see more of it. Julius Randle, he gets the ball in the post. What's he going to do? He knocks down his first 2 points of the game. He was a little bit off today. 6 for 14 was Julius Randle. Julius Randle goes in one more time. He lays that one off the glass. It's now 21-15. The Knicks are ready to set records out here as Frank Ntilikina finds Mitchell Robinson. Those two got a thing going on, and we need those two to have a thing going on, kind of the way Lou Williams and Trez had a thing going on today. The Knicks are up 27-17. You see Kadeem Allen kicks it out to R.J. Barrett, who knocks down the three. The Knicks are up 33-19. 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in this third quarter. You see Paul George knock down a three. It's 33-22. And the Knicks go on a little bit of a tear to end this quarter. As the Clippers, Trez gets the rebound, puts it back in. The Knicks up 35-24. Kadeem Allen gets the little turnaround, float, layback runner, whatever it is, to go down. It's 40-26 now. Trez in the paint. He was doing work today. He changed the game by himself, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Bobby Portis knocks down the three. It's 43-28. The Knicks are up by 15, and then it's 45-29. The Knicks up 16, and then Trez makes it 45-36. The Knicks scored 45 points in that first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. The highest they've ever, well, not the highest that they ever scored, but they tied the highest. They scored 45 points in the first quarter. Kevin Knox just the alley-oop. Kevin Knox didn't play many minutes today. He's 48-39, and although the Knicks scored a season-high 45 points in that first quarter, they couldn't continue. They couldn't keep it up. The Clippers knew that they had to come out and start playing some clamp-down defense, and that's exactly what they did. As you see, Frank finds Taj Gibson off the pick and roll. He gets fouled. It's now 51-45. The Knicks are up, but the Clippers are coming. Lou Williams, bang, knocks it down. It's 51-48. Lou again, bang, knocks it down. The game is now tied 51-51. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. It's 53-58. The Clippers finally took the lead. Frank, he finds Julius Randle. Julius Randle knocks one down to make it 58-56. Paul George on the break, up 61-56. Bam, another three by the Los Angeles Clippers. It's 64-56, and the lead is growing for the Clippers RJ Barrett cuts it, makes it 64-58. The Knicks down 6. Still a lot of time left in this third quarter, and the Clippers already got 64 points, and the Knicks got 58. 66 points out for Trez's dunk. Then Paul George said, I want to get mine. Paul George goes to the cup. He gets in, and I'm going to tell you what, Mitchell Robinson had a tough first half, ladies and gentlemen. Tough first half. Marcus Morris, he knocks one home to make it 70. Well, it's now 73-63. The Clippers up 10. Marcus Morris walks into a three-point basket to bring the Knicks within 7. And then Lou Williams, he's got the ball screened by Trez. He pulls up for 3. Bang, knocks it down. 76-66. The Knicks down 8 points or whatever it was, 7 points at half. It's now 76-71. High scoring game, ladies and gentlemen. 82-73. The Clippers are up. RJ Barrett, little step back, mid-range jump shot, knocks it down. You see, when you start going to the basket and you feel good, you start getting some things going. 84-77 now. The Clippers are up. You see, Marcus Morris, it was hot all night long. He knocks it down. Marcus Morris tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he had 38 points. 13 for 19 from the field. He also had 5 rebounds. Marcus Morris was hitting tonight. Paul George, that man right there, he missed it. Zubac put it back. Zubac didn't play too much. He played 12 minutes. Paul George tonight, though, he had 32 points, ladies and gentlemen. As you see, Marcus Morris finds Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson, he had 11 points on the night. Played 18 minutes. You needed Taj Gibson out there. You see, the Clippers knocked down another 3. It's 95-85. Lou Williams finds Trez. That duo, ladies and gentlemen, is deadly. That is a deadly duo. A deadly duo. Montrezl Williams, he had 34 points tonight. He also had 6 rebounds. All right, but I'm going to tell you, the Knicks kept fighting. Even though they're down 12 right now, they kept fighting. As you see, Shamet knocks down the 3. 104-91, the Knicks down 13, and Trez, he's got the ball against Mitch. He used his body all night long against Mitch. He used the smarts. He used his ability to score. He did a lot of things all night long against Mitch, man. But right there, you see, on the break, Marcus Morris knocked down the 3. Again, Marcus Morris was 6 for 7 from the three-point line tonight. Mitch finally gets something. He called an alley-oop right there. Mitchell Robinson, on the night, he struggled tonight, but Mitchell Robinson had 8 points, 2 rebounds. And the Knicks climbing. They're staying close. They're fighting. It's 109-98. Lou Williams goes to the basket. Lou Williams had 32 points tonight. The Los Angeles Clippers had 3 guys scoring over 30 points tonight. Lou Williams had 32 points. Trez Harrell had 34 points. And Paul George had 32 points. You can also add 9 assists to Lou Williams' number out there, ladies and gentlemen. Marcus Morris, that guy was a one-man show for the Knicks tonight. He was getting it done. 117-108, Knicks down 8. They keep fighting. They keep trying to stay in it. It's in the fourth quarter now. It's 119-108. The Knicks staying in it. Trez, he pulls up. He knocks it down. Nobody could guard him. None of our bigs could guard that guy, just like none of our guards could stay with Lou Williams. You see, Paul George right there fouls out Julius Randle. He comes up. He finds Reggie Bullock in the corner to cut the game to 3, 121-118. And now the game is tight. You know, how much more could you ask for except for the Knicks to be down only 3 points with under 5 minutes left in the game? And they kept fighting. They kept putting it in. Julius Randle to RJ Barrett there. So many people say them two got beef, but they hooked up there. Then RJ Barrett scored, and then Trez comes right back down to score. It's 129-123, the Clippers. But the Knicks continue to battle and continue to fight as Frank goes to the basket, but he missed the free throw. It's now 129-125, and who else but Lou Williams to knock down a 2 there. Marcus Morris trying to get the foul here. Hits the three-point bucket to bring him back within 3 with 42.2 seconds left in the game. But you can't let this happen. Julius Randle gets matched off on Lou Williams, and Lou Williams is going to win that battle just about every time, ladies and gentlemen. You can almost guarantee that. The Knicks were not able to pull this one out. It was a wild game, a tough game, a physical game. You know, the refs, they played their role in the game. All in all, it was a fun game. I'm not going to say it wasn't fun. It was definitely a fun game tonight. Although the Knicks weren't able to pull it out, it was a fun game, an enjoyable game to watch. They did battle. They did fight. You know, they went up 15. They got down 16, and they came back to try to pull within, or they did pull within 3. Just wasn't enough for the New York Knicks. Let's take a look at some of the numbers behind the game. 135 to 132 was the game, and the Knicks coming into this game over the last 10 games were averaging 50.5 rebounds per game. Well, they lost that rebound battle tonight. They only grabbed 37 rebounds. The Los Angeles Clippers grabbed 42 rebounds. The Knicks had 22 assists. The Clippers 25. The Knicks had 11 steals. A lot of them in that first quarter, though, was help balloon that lead and push that lead and help the Knicks to score 45 points in the first quarter. The Knicks had 4 blocks, 16 turnovers. They shot 57.1% from the field. The Clippers shot 54% from the field. The Knicks shot 52.2% from the three-point line. Clippers shot 56.3% from the three-point line. Now, here you go. A big difference in the game. The Knicks missed 13 free throws, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks shot 64.9% from the free throw line. They lost this game by 3. 3 out of the 13 that they missed. If they just make 4 of those free throws, this game could be very different. The Knicks could have won. Free throw line bit us again. One more time, it bit us. The leaders of the game, Montrezl Harrell, he had 34 points. Marcus Morris for the Knicks had 38. Rebounds, Julius Randle had 8. JaMychal Green had 10. Blocks for the Knicks, Marcus Morris had 1. Maurice Harkless had 2. Kadeem Allen had 6 assists for the Knicks. And Lou Williams had 9 assists for the Los Angeles Clippers. The bench, the Knicks bench didn't show up the way that we needed them to show up. And, of course, the Clippers bench showed up. All right, with Lou Williams and Trez coming off the bench, man, those guys can be deadly, and they were deadly tonight. Clippers bench had 85 points. The Knicks bench had 36. But the Knicks starters had 96 points, and Clippers starters only had 50, obviously because 2 of their best players come off the bench. At least tonight they did. You know, the Knicks bench only had 8 rebounds, 11 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks, 5 turnovers. They still shot 55.6% from the field and 50% from 3, did the Knicks bench. They only made 50% of their free throws. Looking at the Knicks starters, the Knicks starter had 96 points, 29 rebounds, 11 assists, 6 steals, 2 blocks, 11 turnovers. They shot 57.9% from the field, 52.9% from 3, and again, a low 67.7% from the free throw line. You got to do better from that. They're free, ladies and gentlemen. They're free. You got to do better from the free throw stripe. They're free. Players of the game, of course, for the Knicks, Marcus Morris, clearly the player of the game for the Knicks. He had 38 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 steals, and 3 turnovers. Montrezl Harrell, he was clearly the player of the game. I mean, it could have been between him or Lou Williams for the Clippers. He had 34 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, no blocks, no steals, and 3 turnovers. Montrezl Williams, man, he's a baller. He is a baller. And he had Mitch, and some people might be upset that I'm saying this, but he had Mitch a little bit afraid in that first quarter. I don't care what anybody says. You can disagree with me all you want. He had Mitch a little bit scared in that first quarter. Mitch didn't want to be physical in that second quarter, in the first half. In the second quarter, Mitch didn't want to be physical with Trez. He felt Trez, bully his way to the basket. You can look at Trez, and there's a lot of people. If you look at Trez, you're going to walk away. You got a beef, you're probably walking away from that dude. Mitch didn't want any smoke with him tonight. So some people might be mad that I'm saying that, but I'm just saying the truth, at least the truth from the way that I see it. Looking at the box scores, man, Julius Randle was 6 for 14, 1 for 4 from 3. He had 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 16 points. Marcus Morris had 38 points, 5 rebounds, He also had 1 assist. Taj Gibson had 11 points. RJ Barrett had 24 points tonight. Glad to see RJ Barrett have a good game. He hasn't been having, good games lately. He had a good game tonight. He had 24 points. He also had 6 rebounds. He was 7 for 11 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. He was also 9 for 11 from the free throw line. Frank Ntilikina had 7 points. He also had 5 assists and 4 rebounds. He had 2 turnovers on the night as well. Mitchell Robinson, he had 8 points. 2 rebounds. Need more rebounds for Mitch. He had 1 block shot. Kadeem Allen had 9 points. Bobby Portis had 8 points. He was 2 for 4 from the 3-point line. Reggie Bullock, he had 9 points. He was 1 for 1 from the 3-point line. 4 for 5 from the field. Kevin Knox played 6 minutes. He had 2 points. Maurice Harkless for the Los Angeles Clippers had 2 points. Patrick Patterson had 6 points. Zubac had 4 points. Paul George had 32. Patrick Beverly had 6 points. He also had 6 assists, and he played some hella defense on Frank Ntilikina. He also had Frank Ntilikina bottled up a few times. Their bench, Montrezl Harrell, like I said, he had 34 points. Lou Williams had 32 points and 9 assists. JaMychal Green had 11 points and 10 rebounds. Landry Shamet had 5 points. And Rodney McGruder, he had 3 points and 2 rebounds. That's the way the game went for the Knicks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not entirely upset. I mean, even with the loss to the Suns, I wasn't entirely upset. The only thing that gets me a little bit is that the Knicks had, had a 15-point lead. But I knew, I'm pretty sure most of you knew, that the Knicks were not going to maintain that lead. It wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to maintain that lead. They did not maintain that lead. So it was a hard-fought battle. But they lose a wild one to the Los Angeles Clippers. And now it's on to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie to you. When we had that lead, not the only thing that I thought of, but my hope was, okay, we built the lead. We're playing well against the Clippers. Let's pull this one off. And we're still in position to go 2-2 on this trip if we would have won today. And earlier in the game, that's how I was feeling. I was like, okay, we pull this one off. We're in position to do what we wanted to do. Clearly, it didn't happen. Clearly didn't happen, ladies and gentlemen. Solo. Let's go ahead. Let's talk to some people. I know I got some guys here in the video chat. I know I got some people that want to call in and talk about this game. It was a fun game to watch. I enjoyed it. So I want to hear what you guys got to say about it. All right, let me see who we got in the chat right now. We got Nate in the chat, Gammo in the chat. I got Rob the Nick in the chat, and Wayne is in the chat. So we're going to go ahead and talk some Knicks right now. Gammo, what's going on with you, bro?
What's good, man? Tough game, man.
It was a tough game, but it was a fun game to watch. I enjoyed this game.
You know what's so annoying about these games, though? It's like when you look at where the Knicks are, where the Clippers are, you expected this to happen, right? But watch the game is like we were right in the and given that 3 of their guys scored 30 points, Lou Williams, Harrell, we knew Paul George. But there's little things I think they could have done. First and foremost, shout out to Marcus Morris because he put up a monster game against the team he's probably going to get traded to. So he's showcasing his skills for his next team. But he had a bunch of guys who had decent individual games, man. But our defense, man, Mitchell Robinson, I don't want to put all on him. He has to get stronger. He has to learn how to position guys out of the comfort zone. What Harrell did a lot of times was get the ball deep and then bully himself even deeper because he's 6'7", right? He's not going to throw the ball above Robinson. But once you get into that inside zone of the defender, right, now once you get that leverage, it's up. They're most likely going to foul you, and that's what Harrell was doing, get himself in good position to basically get up on Mitch. And Mitch has to do a better job of pushing him out. I thought the Knicks could have done a better job of double teaming at times because look, Patrick Beverly, can he shoot? Yeah, but he's a guy who, if he scores 30 on me by hitting 8 threes from deep or whatever, I'll give that to him. But I'd rather see those guys kind of double team the Harrells and then double team Poor Georges. Those guys were hot, especially Lou Williams kind of threw them guys out of rhythm. The ball moved around a lot without Kawhi there, but again, I thought the defensive schemes were a little bit lackluster. But overall, man, it's just tough because you're playing a really good team, the Clippers. But the small things now, RJ had a really good game. The people that call RJ a bust, is he a bust now? Yeah. That first quarter, he looked really good. First half, he was really good. And he made 9 of 11 free throws. But again, 13 free throws missed. I mean, oh Jesus, you cut half of that. You know what I mean? Or like you said, even a quarter of that, and it's a different game. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's focus. I don't know what it is, but Mike Mill has to find a way to improve the free throw shooting. If it's fines or something like that, $100 fines, I don't know. They probably wouldn't do something crazy. Whatever it may be, you got to improve the free throw. That's terrible, and it's killing us. I think the second game, out of maybe 2 out of 3, because I don't think it was last game we played against. Last game we played against the Suns, right?
Suns, yeah.
So I think it's before that. I can't remember, but I think it was another game we discussed where the free throws killed us. And again, we gotta make these free throws against these teams, man. Overall, it's one of those games, man.
I mean, overall, when you look at the numbers, man, the Knicks shot 57%, but they let the Clippers shoot 54%. The Knicks shot 52.2% from 3. They let the Clippers shoot 56.2% from 3. All right. It really came down to the free throw shooting, though, because the Clippers were 27 for 33. The Knicks were 24 for 37. And they had their chances. It really came down to that. Of course, in the second quarter, they lost their composure. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
They lost their composure.
Sam, we were talking about that too, man. This is the thing that, and I gotta say something, right? It's on both sides, right? This is why the NBA is starting to lose its lackluster. A lot of these refs, I don't know where they come from, but we need more refs from the hood, man. We need more refs that are in the inner cities. Because I watch these refs, and these refs look like the type of guys that when they were younger, they took their ball and went home because no one picked them, or they didn't like when there's. It's garbage where you're calling texts for people literally showing testosterone. They're showing emotion, but they're not attacking you. Some of these guys aren't cursing you out. These guys aren't. They literally it's in the heat of the moment. That's why I respect the NFL. Even hockey. I mean, hockey allows it to an extreme, but I respect the NFL where you see guys because they're in the heat. They're screaming at the refs to ask why the hell did you call that? There's no malice. They're not trying to attack you. It's just hey, hey, come on, I don't agree with that call. And then on the flip side, they allow Patrick Beverley to literally mouth them off almost every other play. And I think Mike Green or Zerbiak, I can't remember which one it was. They're like, why does Patrick Beverley get away with that? But you call the tech so quickly. Randall, you called it quickly on Taj Gibson. And then on Morris, where it's like, all right, the hand stuff is like, call a double tech to can't stop, but you call them the Knicks. So the Knicks, this one, and I sent this to Sim. I said, because, and I'm still sticking to my conspiracy theory about the Knicks that until Dolan sells, the Knicks ain't going to be favored by the refs. That's me. That's not on MBK. That's just on. But I feel that whenever we go into these places, especially when we're not at home, it's us versus the team and the refs. Somebody has to be out there to quell these guys, to calm them down. Yeah. Hey, look, Patrick Beverley is looking to start up stuff. You can't fall for it. As you know, Sim, you've been around in high school AU. There are guys that you've known around that whenever you see this guy, he's doing stuff to rile the team, to get you guys discombobulated, to get you guys all over because he's not as talented as you. You've seen it in high school. You've seen it. And Patrick Beverley is one of those guys you cannot let him get to your head. If he wants to push back that stuff, fine, take it. You move down. You put your hand on him during the foul line, the foul shots, fine, let him do whatever. Do not let him get it. I heard Randall on the other line. He said he's talking trash. He said a few explicatives. The mic picked it up when he got the tech, and it's like, Randall, think. This is not the time for you to be mouthing off the other team, dude. Your team just got attacked out. Their refs are right there. You're away from the court. Shut up, focus, and play the game. And I think that it has to come from either Mike Miller. Mike Miller got to get fines or something. But it has to be disciplined where it's like, look, guys, regardless of who we play and the fact that the refs aren't going to give us calls, you got to stay focused. Those how many shots did they make off a tech? Six shots?
Maybe I'm not
6
something
shots,
like that.
Maybe 4 or 3, whatever it was. But even those, if you take those technical shots they made, and even take away maybe 2 to 5 free throws that we miss, give those back to us. It's a different game. You can't in those close games. You can't let them slip.
And you have to be prepared. You know what the Clippers are going to be like. You know how they're going to play, right? You know that they're going to be physical. For the most part, we match some of their physicality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Robinson, to me, he played a little. I don't want to say he played soft. He was a young man playing against a grown man tonight in Harold, right? I'm chopping it up to that. You know what I'm saying? He got pushed around in the first half. In that second quarter, he really got pushed around. And I think there's a little bit of fear in his heart. You know what I'm saying? And then in the second half, I think he realized, okay, nothing's going to happen if I do play physical. And he was okay. He played a little bit more physical. He stood his ground a little bit better. But I feel like in the first half, when he felt some of the strength of Harold, he was a little bit scared.
What did they tell you, Sim? Whenever you're playing against a guy with a low center of gravity posting up, what do they tell you? Take him out of position. Because the thing about it is that you have height, right? So the only way he could really beat you is if he gets proper leverage using his lower center of gravity. And the best thing to do is either front him, which Mitch could have done. Mitch could have fronted him, or you basically you got to push him out the position. I know these refs nowadays. You touch anybody, it's so you got to be careful of doing that. But there's ways to basically get out of position, get him out of that post where make him start up high. And I think the thing is that when he was starting up a little bit high, like say on the on the baseline, not say near the 3-point line, I thought that we should have doubled those guys a lot more. Like I thought we should have doubled Lou Williams a lot more, double him on the side where Patrick Beverly is. So what that means is that the guys guarding Patrick Beverly, if he's on the wing and perimeter, he's not cutting down or whatever, you send that guy to go in because you don't want Jermichael Green in there.
Yeah.
You don't want Lou Williams in there. I just thought we could have been a little smarter on defense.
Yeah, and Trez used Mitchell Robinson's strengths against him. You know what I mean? He did a lot of pump faking down there, get Mitch in the air, boom, bang him. You know what I mean? But it's good learning experience for Mitch. He can go back and he can look at this game and say, okay, this is what I gotta do when I play a guy like this. Good learning experience for him. That's how you learn. You know what I'm saying? That's how you learn.
Size over AD.
Yeah, right. Now he's gonna go play against AD. You know what? He's worked with AD before. He might match up a little bit better. Obviously, he's not gonna be as strong, and AD probably doesn't. I'm not saying that he doesn't have moves. Obviously, he does. He's got all kinds of moves. He's got a whole boatload of weapons that he can use offensively. But Harold's just a little bit different because of the size difference, right? Harold's 6'7", Mitch Robinson is 7'1". So the pump fake is going to be a little bit easier, for Harold to get that pump fake and get Mitch in the air and be a little bit different for AD. Not that it's not going to be a difficult task. Obviously, it's going to be a difficult task against AD as well. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how it's going to go against the Clippers. I will say this. They're two best players. We got guys that can match up with them, kind of. Right? Mitchell Robinson can use his length with Anthony Davis, and Marcus Morris should be able to do a decent job on LeBron James.
Yeah, I mean, they play.
So, we'll see.
Guys, sorry, I'll let you get to other people.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll talk about that in a minute. Nate,
man, how you doing?
What's going on, man? What's up, man? You there?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm good. So, what you think about the game? How'd you feel about it?
First off, man, I've never seen a game or a team score almost 50 points in the first quarter and then give up almost 70 plus in the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, you could have predicted that.
I've never seen that before, but I just had to say that, man. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, but you could have almost predicted that something like that would happen with the Knicks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I knew in that second quarter that the Clippers were going to come out. They let the Knicks score 45 points. They just had the Grizzlies score 140 points on them. So you knew they were going to come out rambunctious. They were going to come out and really, try to lay it to the Knicks defensively. They were going to try to get under their skin. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they did in the second quarter. They got under the Knicks' skin and started to rattle them.
It's not only that, too, Sim, is that the Knicks just self-inflicted wounds themselves. I mean, dumb technicals, a lot of fouls, again, not getting out to shooters, playing hero ball, not moving the ball around. I mean, you've seen this team all season so far. Like, for some reason, when they get a lead, they give it up because they, it's like you say, they resort back to their old ways.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean when I
back at it.
say that the Clippers got under their skin. They
Yeah.
did things, because they knew that the Knicks might lose their composure. Listen, these guys been around the league for a long time. They know what Bobby Portis does. They know what Marcus Morris does, right? They know what these guys do. And, understanding the scouting report that the Knicks will give you the lead back, say, hey, listen, we're down 15. They scored 45 points, but these guys will let you get back in the game. Let's go out there. Let's be gnats. Let's get under their skin. Let's make them upset and see if we can make them lose their composure. And that's exactly what the Clippers did with the Knicks in that second quarter.
Yeah.
Exactly what they did.
And not to mention, they couldn't stop Harrell and Williams. I mean, my God. I mean, those guys were just balling left and right. I mean, and the Knicks had no answer for it. Once again, our guard play looked just bad. I mean, we had occasional plays here and there.
Yeah, but let's be fair. Right? Lou Williams and Harrell they are the highest scoring bench in the NBA. They were the highest scoring bench in the NBA last year. Those two guys would be starters on most other teams, right? They could be starters on this team if they really wanted them to. You know what I'm saying? So let's be we got to be honest about that. When we're dealing with Lou Williams and Trez there.
And shout out to RJ Barrett, man. RJ Barrett played really well in the beginning. He played pretty steady most of the game. I was very pleased. Definitely looked like the RJ Barrett of old. So, you're gonna have to ride and die with this guy. I mean, he's just there's gonna be games where he's not gonna look good, and there's gonna be games he's gonna look better. Like you said, he's only 19 years old and he's gonna go through the growing pains. But my thing. Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, where's Knox, man? What's up with Knox? He's not really playing a lot. I've noticed. I think he played 12 minutes the last game, and this one he
6
played
minutes
maybe.
today.
Is it more Morris? I guess
the coach don't like what he's bringing. Now. I mean, plain and simple, the coach doesn't like what he's bringing, so he's not putting him on the floor. Yeah. When he starts to when he sees what he wants to see from Knox, then he'll put him out there on the floor. I mean, it's that simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with Alonzo Trier. For whatever it is, the coach does not like what Alonzo Trier is bringing to the floor right now. So he's not playing. And the one thing I will say is, kudos to Alonzo Trier. He's still got energy on the bench. He's not dropping his head. He's staying in it. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Because that sends a message too, right? Alonzo Trier, I still think is going to have a good career in the league. You know what I'm saying? When he finds a spot, or maybe the spot's with the Knicks, maybe it's not. He's going to have some value. I think people are going to value Alonzo Trier, and whatever it is that whatever team is asking for him, hopefully he can do it, right? But when you're on the bench and you're not playing, coaches around the league, general managers around the league, they look to see what's your demeanor like. You know what I'm saying? And right now, from what I can see, he's still rooting his teammates on. He seems to have a good demeanor. From what I understand, he's like, hey, I'm going to be a good trooper, and I'm going to work on whatever it is that the coaches need me to work on so that I can get better and I can earn my playing time. You know what I'm saying? So, big shout out to him, because that's going to go a long way for his career as he, goes on to other places or whatever, if that's what happens. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to see that he's still in it and he's still focused. And when his name is called, hopefully he'll be ready. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Let me get to my man Wayne, and then I'm gonna come to Rob the Nick. Hopefully Rob the Nick's got his his sound working right. Wayne, what's going on, man?
Hey,
how you feeling?
First time here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. Nah, I said welcome. I'm glad you're here. So, what you think about the game?
We played tough, but it looks good again. Like the way RJ played. Hey, you think maybe Steve Nash helped him a little bit?
I think he helped him a lot. To tell you the truth, I think being there, having someone that there. Well, I'm sure he's had people he's known at the games, but having someone special there, your godfather and Steve Nash, I'm sure he gave him some pointers, and I think that helped him out.
His best friend. He's gonna be there 2 more days, right?
Maybe so. He should. Yeah, I mean the Knicks are gonna be in LA till Tuesday night, so yeah. Yeah, that Lakers game, that's going to be a tough one, man. The Lakers are better than I thought they were going to be.
You and me both.
Better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I was in Washington the other night. I was looking for you.
Oh, you were there. Oh.
Yeah, I was at the game.
Okay, I was in section 110 or something like that.
What section was that?
Yeah.
I'm old, man. I can't remember what section I was. It wasn't far. It was in the 100. I was on the opposite side of the Knicks bench.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I was over by the Wizards bench. But this was a tough one, man. This was a tough one. You know, the Knicks scored 45 points in the first quarter. Then they let the Clippers score 47 points in the second quarter. The Clippers scored 38 points in the third quarter. They held them to 21 points in the fourth. The Knicks scored 32, but it just wasn't enough. This wasn't enough to get it done.
We lost the game in the second quarter. We let them come back too quick.
Yep. That second quarter did it for us, man. Lost that game in the second quarter. The Clippers got under our skin. They kind of bullied us, punked us a little bit in that second quarter. And, that's what it is.
That's my wife just walked up behind me. What section were we in Washington? You remember? We're old, man. We can't remember.
Well, tell her, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, too.
He said, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
I got the earplug.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. But, hey, man, I'm going to get around and try to get to a couple other people and get to some phone calls. But stay in. I'll come back to you and ask you some other questions, all right?
Okay.
All right. Give me a call, ladies and gentlemen, 516-405-2246. Talk to me about what you think about this game. What do you think the next moves are? What happens and what happens with the Lakers? That's a late game with the Lakers. What happens with the Lakers? Can we continue this hot shooting? Obviously, we had hot shooting tonight, but we didn't get any stops. Right? We had nice shooting, but we didn't get the stops that we needed to win this game. And it was a tough task. I mean, listen. We scored 132 points against a team that's supposed to be very good defensively. The Clippers came in with I think they were 7th in the league in defense or something like that. We still scored 132 points. The problem was we couldn't get stops. They couldn't get stops either, but we couldn't get stops. We couldn't get enough stops. We don't want, listen, I'm not looking for moral victories at all, but I do understand that you can take something from a game. Hopefully we can bottle this up. We can bottle up the hot shooting. When you look at the scores, when you look at who scored what, decent balance. The scoring was balanced. Marcus Morris, obviously, he had a hot night, so he had 38. 24 from R.J. Barrett, 11 from Taj Gibson, 16 from Julius Randle. So it was balanced scoring. We'll see if we can continue that going into L.A., ladies and gentlemen. Give me a call, though, man, 516-405-2246. I want to give a shout-out to Darcy Knicks. He said, fun game to watch. The rest were trigger-happy on the calls, though. Yes, they were definitely trigger-happy. He said, I'm watching from Australia. Love the show. Keep us in your thoughts. 8 million lost in wildfires. California was 800,000. Yeah, definitely in our thoughts and prayers, man. So, we always want everybody to be safe. You know what I'm saying? We want everyone to be safe and be able to, start the new year off right. And, that doesn't happen everywhere. So we're definitely keeping you in our thoughts, man. Keeping you in our thoughts. Give me a call, ladies and gentlemen, 516-405-2246. As we break down the Knicks losing to the Los Angeles Clippers in kind of a wild fashion tonight. A wild fashion. Let's get to a phone call right here. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, Sam, how you doing? This is Kev from Plainsville, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
Hey, I wanted this game so bad, man.
Me too.
I'm not going to say that first quarter was was fool's gold, but the way they were playing, it just seemed like, you just had like a certain feeling. And then once Clippers went on that run, it was like, dang. but I like the way we hung in there, and we could have pulled this out, man. I mean, it was looking like it. I said maybe the tides would turn. I mean, once I saw Paul George went out, it's like, oh, we might have a chance. So,
Yeah. Well, listen, the Knicks shot 76% in that first quarter. 76% in the first quarter. But the Clippers, even though the Knicks shot 76%, the Clippers shot 50% in the first quarter. It's just the Knicks were just hot in that first quarter. Right? You look at the first quarter, Julius Randle was 3 for 6. Marcus Morris was 3 for 4. Taj Gibson was 1 for 2. RJ Barrett 4 for 4. Frank Ntilikina was 1 for 1. Mitchell Robinson 2 for 2. Kadeem Allen was 2 for 2. Bobby Portis was 2 for 2.
Really
Reggie Bullock 1 for 2. Yeah, I mean, everybody was hot. And then when you get into that second quarter, in the second quarter, the Knicks shot 35% in the second quarter. Julius Randle 1 for 5. Marcus Morris 3 for 4. All right, RJ Barrett was 1 for 2. Taj Gibson 1 for 1. Mitchell Robinson didn't shoot. Kadeem Allen 0 for 2. Bobby Portis 0 for 2. Kevin Knox 1 for 2. And then the Clippers shot 70% in the second quarter. Right, moving on to the third quarter, the Knicks were back up in the third quarter to 57%. Marcus Morris was 4 for 5. Julius Randle didn't shoot in the third quarter. Taj Gibson was 2 for 3. RJ Barrett 1 for 3. Frank Ntilikina 1 for 3. Mitchell Robinson 2 for 3. Kadeem Allen 1 for 3. Reggie Bullock 1 for 1. Then you get in the fourth quarter, the Knicks shot 50%. Oh, wait a minute. In the fourth quarter, let me find it here. Here we go. In the fourth quarter, then the Knicks shot 55.6%. Julius Randle 2 for 3. Marcus Morris 3 for 6. RJ Barrett 1 for 2. Frank Ntilikina 1 for 1. Kadeem Allen 1 for 2. Bobby Portis 0 for 2. And Reggie Bullock 2 for 2. And the Clippers shot 36.8% in that fourth quarter. All right, it was the second quarter that really did the Knicks in.
Yeah, absolutely, and I totally agree with that, man. That second quarter, again, that first quarter, it just seemed like that maybe this will be our night and everything, but you got to play all four quarters and everything. And like I said, I just like the way we came out. I'll also say, I mean, I knew what I was going to get out of. We knew what Lou Williams was going to bring to the table, but I tell you, that guy Trends, he was a monster, and I'm hoping that Mitch sees this once he sees the film tomorrow, and just matches his intensity once they come back to the Garden, because he was just a monster. He was having his way with Mitch big time, and I never saw Mitch, squander like that against anybody. And he just really, took it to him, like that. So, when they come back to the Garden, when they come back to the Garden, Kawhi might play that game. So
yeah, they probably
they'll have
Kawhi.
their full arsenal and everything. So, but yeah, again, I like the effort that we displayed, and on to Tuesday and Wednesday. Like that. Let me ask you a question regarding that Suns game. As you as a coach, how would you have played? How would you have played Kevin Booker?
Devin Booker.
Yeah, Devin Booker. I'm sorry.
It was going to be tough to stop Devin Booker. I might have tried to trap him, and as much as I could, throw a double team at him, and then have everybody rotate. The problem is that the Knicks don't do a good job rotating, in my opinion. So when they do trap, other guys, don't do a good job playing the gaps defensively, so that they could, once the ball swings out of the trap and everybody recovers, you don't leave somebody open. With the Knicks, a lot of times, if there's a broken play, people don't understand where to rotate and how to rotate. If there's a trap, sometimes people don't rotate, and there ends up being an open layup to the basket or something like that. So it's scary. It can be scary sometimes to trap. I would have tried to put Frank Ntilikina on him a little bit more. We didn't. In the
yeah, I
third
totally,
or fourth,
I totally agree
Frank
with that.
Ntilikina played like 16 minutes that game.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Frank Ntilikina played like 16 minutes against the Suns. I would have given him more minutes on Booker.
Yeah,
that's what I would have tried to do. And I would have tried.
Another thing with Frank, he did a really, really good job tonight. You can't complain about what he did, even when he got the 2 fouls, in the first quarter. He was just really engaged in trying to help the team win and everything. And another thing, I like what Gilmore said about the refs. I don't know if people realize or not, but that guy Malloy, he was one of the key refs when the Knicks played the Miami Heat in that playoff series with when they had the big three, and he called like 2 technical fouls on Tyson that got him thrown out the game. So I know what that Malloy is, from the get-go. Once I see him that he's reffing our game, I said, oh, this is going to be, we're done. So Gilmore was totally right about a lot of these refs and everything. So, but that's about it.
The refs had a happy whistle today. They had a happy whistle today, man. The refs did.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
But, all right, Kevin, man, I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see who else wants to try to get in here, man. Have a good start to your week. Let's get to the next caller. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's pop?
What's going on, Sim? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
Good. I was, like you said, there's no more losses, but that was an enjoyable game for sure.
Oh, it was enjoyable. I enjoyed the game. I love that game. I enjoyed it. Say that again?
But, that Harold's just, you think, I know it sounds crazy, but obviously Harold destroyed Mitch. He's got to get stronger. You think we should have put Randall on him more, a bigger, a thicker body, you know what I mean?
Well, I think, they put Randall on him in the fourth quarter and it helped out in the fourth quarter.
A little bit, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think in the fourth quarter, let's see what Harold was in the fourth quarter. Now, he shot well the entire game, obviously.
Yeah.
But in the fourth quarter, Harold was, Harold was 3 for 7 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Where, throughout every other quarter, he was killing throughout every other quarter.
Yeah.
In the third quarter.
I haven't seen Mitch get killed like that, and man, he's.
Yeah, I mean, for Harold, for Harold in the quarters 1 through 3, he was 10 through 14 for quarters 1 through 3. He was 3 for 7 in the fourth quarter. All right, so Julius Randle's using his body helped out definitely because he's got the strength to match up with Harold. Exactly. The issue is you couldn't have Julius Randle on him the entire game because. The thinking is that you're going to need Julius Randle down the stretch. You don't want him to be in foul trouble.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a beast, man. Jeez, he's a monster, right? That Harold.
He is. Yeah, he's tough, man.
You gotta make him shoot. He had one jumper at the end with a few minutes left, a big jump shot, but that was probably the only maybe 1 or 2 jump shots that he hit. But like you said, Mitch, he's gotten better. Just got to work on that body, get a little stronger. It'll come, But, I like to see Barrett, we got to bring his godfather, Steve Nash, to more games, man. He was there today, so maybe it's a little good luck charm for him or something,
Yeah, well, hopefully,
like 9 or 11, I think, from the line, Barrett, today?
Yeah, 9 for 11. Hopefully this will, kind of spearhead a little run from R.J. Barrett where he's playing better and he's playing well. Hopefully.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Even against George, he had a couple of nice baskets on, and I was like, wow, that was really impressive. He had a couple of good drives against him. So,
right.
That was good to see. But, like, Kadeem Allen played well tonight. I like to see him. He did solid off the bench. But I just got to say, I don't want to get on the kid too much, but what do we do with this Kevin Knox, man? Like, he's really lost. And this Coach Miller, he's a developmental coach, obviously, from the G League. So if he's not going to play him, like, you know what I mean? To me, that says a lot right there, too, that he probably knows that he's just not any good.
What it says to me is that he hasn't earned. What it says to me is that he hasn't earned his way. You know, he's not doing what Mike Miller wants on the floor, and that's a way to teach him. You put him on the bench. You don't play him.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I mean, do you
that's
see him
what.
ever improving, man? Like, this is a top 10 pick. He's not, the 30th pick in the first round.
But listen, let Mike Miller, let these guys go ahead and do it the way that they're going to do it. Because this is the thing, right? Let's just say, let's say that we were giving Kevin Knox, we were just giving him 30 minutes a game. And he could be playing the same exact way that he's playing now. We're giving him 30 minutes, but because he's getting 30 minutes, he's averaging 12, 13 points a game, right? Doing the same exact things that he's doing now.
Yeah, but he was shooting like in the mid-30s. So, I mean, is that really, you know what I mean? Like a positive, you know what I'm saying?
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is he could be the same exact person that he is now, but because he's getting 30 minutes, his numbers look different, and the Knicks could suck just like they do. You know, they could still be terrible, but probably even be worse. And everyone would be like, okay, he's coming along. He's doing this. He's doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's doing it on a worse team.
Yeah.
And he's just giving certain minutes. Let's, we just got to chill out, be patient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let the game work itself out, man.
Top 10 pick, and you see guys that were picked, a few picks after that are starting to look like great players. And
but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Every single draft that you get into, everybody wants to play revisionist history every single time we draft. Every single draft that you get into, there's going to be players at the bottom of the draft that are better than players at the top of the draft. Every single one. Yeah. I can guarantee it. And then every single fan is going to play revisionist history and say, how come we didn't recognize that this guy could do that? How come we didn't recognize that this guy could do this?
That was a kid that every Knicks fan wanted. It's not like we're just saying that now. Michael Porter Jr. was a kid we all wanted. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be great, but the last week or so, he's been playing unreal. Like, if this kid's a star and we're stuck with Knox, who's let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Michael Porter Jr. had back issues back then. We don't know what his back issues are going to be like now. I know he had them.
You know what I'm saying? He's just now playing.
What unbelievable, man. Like, it just hurts to see. I'm not saying that's what he's going to be.
I get that. I get that. Okay,
so let's more in a week than Knox has showed in his whole career in 2 years.
But listen. Hold up. Right? The same thing with Dennis Smith Jr. Everybody, complained about Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. And then Dennis Smith Jr. was injury prone, right? And Dennis Smith Jr., how he played some, not played some. He looked amazing, didn't look amazing, the normal rigors of a rookie. But he's often injured. I'm not saying that that's going to be Michael Porter Jr. What I'm saying is let's not play revisionist history, because there were a lot of fans that still were like, okay, we did the right thing by getting Kevin Knox and not Michael Porter Jr. because of the back injuries. Because while he could be playing now in 3 weeks.
But we're all of a sudden we're a team that can't be patient and just say, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just thought Porter had way more potential than even with like you said, I know without luck he probably would have never played because the back is always going to be there. But, like, what if it's not? What if he, like I said, I can't see the future. I'm just saying today, maybe I'm jumping.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Every time another player that we could have drafted or should have drafted.
The thing. That was a guy everyone.
Every time another player does well, right? Every time another player does well, everybody wants to jump on it every time another player does well. We can't do that every time another player does well, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen that other players are going to play well sometime. I don't know. I mean, we are the most revisionist type, the most revisionist history fans in the league. You know what I'm saying? We want to revise history at every chance that we get. And be upset that we didn't get this person or we didn't get that person. You know what I'm saying? Every single time. We turn around. So I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And no, William Nazar, I never said Knox was going to be better than KP. Please don't put words in my mouth. I never said that. I said that I thought he had a bigger repertoire than KP. Having a bigger repertoire, having more weapons in your belt does not mean that you're better. I never said that. So don't put words in my mouth. I never said he was going to be better. I said he had a bigger repertoire. I said I thought he could catch the ball off the rim and go coast to coast. I thought he had a bigger repertoire than KP. A bigger repertoire. A bigger repertoire is much different than a better player. And I said, I don't know if he's going to be a better player than KP. I just thought he had a bigger repertoire and a better repertoire. There's a difference there. Big difference there. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. You can say what you want. That's cool with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not ready to give up on the kid. I still think the kid has a world of talent and can do a lot of things on the court. You know what I'm saying? So many people want to look at the short term. They never look at the long term. That's what happens in the NBA. That's what happens with Knicks fans all the time. You want to look at the short term. You never want to look at the long term. You never want, you want to see, did it happen right now? No, it didn't happen right now. Same thing with RJ Barrett. Everybody's happy today because RJ Barrett had 24 points. Last night, everybody was calling him a bust. Nobody wants to be just even keel about it. You gotta be even keel in the NBA. That's the way the NBA goes. You gotta be even keel. You know what I'm saying? Nate, what's going on, man? What's up? Hold on, one second. There you go.
You hear me?
There you go, Nate.
Okay. I got a question for you about Marcus Morris because we were kind of talking about it last night on the show. Do you think that because Morris is playing really well right now, like he put up almost 40 points today, really was the most consistent player we had on the floor today. Do you think it's wise if the Knicks see a plan for him? Do you think it's wise to extend him now or let him hit the free agent market and have to overpay him?
Good question. Can you extend him now?
I don't see why not. Can you? I don't know.
I don't know how. I'm not exactly sure how the contract extension works.
I'm sure you can extend players in during the season.
I mean, I'm not talking about during the season. I'm not sure if how the contract, sometimes, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if it works. I don't know if the contract has to be structured to say it can be extended in the last year or not.
Can they restructure his contract?
I don't know if they can just go ahead and restructure it right now.
I'm kind of curious because if they could, I would definitely try to do it now. If he's in your plans, and extend him now rather than let him hit the free agent market, and you're gonna have to pay top dollar for him, outbidding other teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I get you. And the problem right now is that you don't know what this front office, if this is going to be the same front office. So
that's true.
That's the problem. We don't know what's being said behind closed doors. So we don't know if James Dolan has told them that they will be the front office or has told them, don't make any big moves because I don't know what's going to happen later on. We can't say, but we don't know if this is going to be the front office.
Well, I don't know if you heard, but on the Bleacher, they reported that the Sixers are interested in Marcus Morris. They feel like that
they're interested in Marcus Morris as a guy to come off the bench. He's from Philadelphia. He may be okay with that trade because one of the reasons for him coming to the Knicks is so that he can be close to Philadelphia. Would he be happy with a trade to Philadelphia? He might.
I think he wants to stay here, man. I mean, he's made it clear that he likes this team and he wants to stay in New York. So, I mean, if he wants to stay here, I mean, he's arguably our best player right now. I mean, and he fits with our team.
Marcus Morris reminds me of the kind of guy that is loyal. Mm-hmm. So to me, and I know a lot of people will say, well, he's saying this now because, he has to or whatever. I don't get that from Marcus Morris. What I get from him is that he's a loyal type of person. He's going to be upfront and honest with you. But I feel like if he's saying he wants to be and he wants to, help the Knicks to change this around, to turn it around, he might be sincere about it.
Well, think about it. I mean, he's in New York. He's got a young core. I mean, he's the focal point of the offense. He's got a lot of things going for him right now, and no other team can make him the focal point like the Knicks have right now. So, I mean, in a sense, I'd be like, hey, let's work a deal out. Let's see if maybe you can give me a couple more years since I'm already going to be 30, and let me be the wily vet in this young group.
Yeah,
who can still play. I mean, the guy scored 40 tonight and very efficient. I mean, he brings a lot to the table, and like I said last night, I mean, you got to win with vets, man. You can't just win with just young players. You have to have vets that can produce too. You have the mixture of both, and I just think like if the Knicks can do something, do it now, because the more he continues to play well, his value is just going to go up and up. And I don't know if he's going to give us a hometown discount or whatever he's trying to do. I mean, he still wants to get paid.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you there are going to be teams that are going to overpay for him, and where the Knicks are going to have to.
I agree. May 4th, you say Spurs deal, ? Loyal. But I think I still do think that he's a loyal type of person, right? Because, obviously that deal wasn't signed, and it wasn't, I feel like Marcus Morris is a guy that sticks to what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? And he,
that might have been more than
he's a straight to me he's a straight shooter, straight up in your face guy. And I understand what you're saying about the Spurs deal. I get that. I guess there's no argument there. I guess I can't come up with an argument. I get what you say, but I still feel like he strikes me as the kind of guy, a loyal type of guy that's going to stick to his word. I have no argument, though, with you on the Spurs deal. You know what I'm saying? Because he backed out of it. He gave his, basically a handshake agreement until he could sign the paper, and then he backed out of it. You got me there. You got me on that one. I still feel like that, but you got me on that one. You know what I'm saying? I really can't come up with an argument. I can't come up with an argument. But anyway. And then Siobhan was asking, what does Philadelphia have to offer? I don't know as far as their roster, but I do know they got draft picks. They always got draft picks. The 76ers always got draft picks. You know what I'm saying? As far as their roster, I don't know. What'd you say?
Maurice Thibault, man. That's the only way I make a trade with Philadelphia. The rookie they got, the wing guy.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah. I mean,
Washington? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. The one thing either way, I'm not gonna be mad either way. Honestly, I'm not gonna be mad either way if they trade him, if they keep him, as long as it's a good contract, right?
The team's gonna be better regardless.
I'm not gonna be mad either way. What I do want to say is, I've seen some people say, oh yeah, Marcus Morris, he's lead your team to 10 wins, blah 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 blah, whatever. Just because you keep Marcus Morris, people have to understand some things. I don't get it, right? Just because you keep Marcus Morris doesn't mean that you're expecting him to be your star player forever, or to be your franchise player. That's not the idea behind it. The idea behind it is that you're putting pieces together, guys that are going to fit in. And when you do finally, someone develops into a star player and takes over, or you finally trade for one or whatever it is, you have some pieces to put with that star, because every time we get a so-called star player, we don't have pieces to keep that person happy. We can't put pieces around them. So the idea is that you're acquiring little pieces here and there when you can, and when that time finally happens, whenever or however it happens, you get a guy that you consider and that it is your franchise player. You have some pieces around. You have some pieces that you can fit in around. if they do end up keeping Marcus Morris, it does not mean that they consider him to be the franchise, folks. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that.
Part of it.
You know what I'm saying? It means that they think that he can be a part of changing the culture and a part of a winning team down the line. You know what I mean? To me, I feel like Marcus Morris is the kind of guy that let's just say, a 3-man came in, that played his position, he would say, hey, I get it. This guy is nice. He's better than me. I'll take my seat on the bench. He strikes me as that type of guy. He's been on the bench and come off the bench before. So, I mean,
Knicks fans are delusional.
I just don't get it. I just don't understand, how people feel like just because you keep Marcus Morris that you consider him to be your best player. You're not keeping him to be your best player. You're keeping him to be a piece of the puzzle.
Now, he is our best player. Let's be honest. I mean he is the best player on the court.
Right, but what I'm saying is, for the future, looking long term, you're not keeping him for that purpose. You're keeping him to be a piece of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying?
He could be the best player on the team until these young players develop and surpass him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it works out. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting over the next few weeks. We got about a month into the trade deadline, right? It's up. So we'll see how that goes. Let me get to a couple phone calls, Nate. And then I'll get to these other guys that's here that just joined into the chat. All right. Let me get to a phone call here. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what up, Sam? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh man, I'm sitting out here in sunny Phoenix. Just got finished watching those sorry Knicks. Hey, I listened to your podcast, the last one, twice.
Okay.
I listened to Guillermo, and I listened to you talk to him about what it takes to be a grown man in the NBA, which I agree with. You got these boys out here, one and done, or as you said, 6 months of college ball, and then, hey, we think you're ready for the NBA. It doesn't work that way. We, though, as Knicks, we need to get rid of Morris. And I will tell you why, because we definitely need to develop the youth. You just stated a few minutes ago that Morris should be coming off the bench, more or less. That's what I heard anyway. I hate to put words in your mouth, but that's what I heard. And we need to let Knox, who is a pure shooter, has got a better handle than Morris. We need to work him and RJ more into a system so they can flourish. I'm still sticking with my man Frank because I feel like he's a well worth player because he's got, I believe, the most basketball sense of anybody out there on the court. And with Randall looking for a two-man game with him and Morris is not going to be here, and we're looking for Randall to be a future. We need someone else to fit in Morris's shoes, and they need to more or less command some more respect from Morris or from Randall because, quite frankly, I don't believe that he provides that for the rest of the players on the team. I just don't think that it's time for the coach to say something. I do believe time for the coach to say something to all of them in the locker room and let them know that this team needs to be controlled because Randall doesn't have a handle from the top of the key. First of all, he should never get the ball until after he's past half court. I don't know why the coach keeps letting Ntilikina refer to him when and then they just forget about him. Everybody keeps complaining about where's Ntilikina. Well, hell, once Randall gets the ball from Ntilikina, he don't look at him twice. So I don't see that. I mean, we need to get a handle on this. And I think for a better development for the team, we seriously need to start working the youth because, if we get 25 wins to 30 wins, I guess we should really consider ourselves lucky considering we've had Morris carry us for, let's say, 20 out of the last 30 games?
I mean, maybe, I don't know. 20 out of the last 30, maybe something like that. Obviously, in those last 30 games, you had Coach Fizdale and things were going that way. Things are significantly different with Coach Mike Miller.
Okay,
right?
Okay, Coach. I'm gonna call you Coach because I know this is what you do. By the way, Simeon, I did want to tell you that I am extremely proud of the man that you have become. You're a spokesperson for leadership. You're a spokesperson for trying to inspire our youth to become quality citizens, and I really appreciate where you've been and what you've been through and where you're at today. But okay, so anyway,
Appreciate that.
Coach
Thank you.
Fizdale, you cannot tell me, Coach, that after watching Randall try to dribble the ball from three-quarters court, how many games were you going to sit there and watch him before you decided to say this is not going to work?
Well, that was Coach Fizdale. Coach Fizdale had to make that change.
You had countless amount of fans telling you, what is Randall doing? 5 or 6 turnovers a game. We were averaging what? 18 turnovers a game? No wonder why we were losing. Hell, he was contributing to 4 of them.
That's what I'm saying. Under Coach Fizdale, things have changed significantly since Mike Miller's taken over. Since Mike Miller's taken over, the Knicks are averaging about 13 turnovers per game. Julius Randle's not handling the ball half as much. He's doing a better job. Obviously, he still has his times where, he makes some bad plays and makes some bad decisions, but he's doing a better job trying to get the ball out of his hands quicker. Listen, looking at the type of game we were in, Julius Randle took 3 shots in the second half of the game.
Yeah, that's not enough. Nowhere nearly enough.
He took 3 shots in the second half of the game. He had 11 shots in the first half, but he recognized he was only like 4 for 11 from the field. And so in the second half, he only took 3 shots. He took 3 of them in the fourth quarter. He was 2 for 3. Tonight's game, man, it really came down to defense, that the Knicks couldn't get defensive stops and of course, free throws.
Well, okay, since you brought the free throws up, okay, so, I'm looking at Neil Keenan's on the court, and you letting Randall shoot technical foul?
Yeah, I knew that was going to come up.
It had to.
I knew that was going to come up.
Put your best shooter on the line?
Listen, the only thing I'm going to say is normally, yes, whoever's on the floor that has the highest percentage, right? Whoever's on the floor that has the highest free throw percentage shoots the free throws, right? But you did see them have a conversation, whatever that conversation was, I don't know. And, they had a conversation. Frank Ntilikina went up to him and said, hey, I got the highest percentage. And then Julius Randle went back to him and spoke something. And, Frank Ntilikina extended his arm, said, okay, whatever. And then he shot the free throw. I'm not as mad about it as I've seen some people be upset about it. I don't know what system Coach Mike Miller has. I don't know what their conversation was.
See, okay, so I will say this, if you haven't heard, I'm a Frank advocate. So, okay, so we want him to be more aggressive. Here I'm telling you, I'm the better foul shooter, and you nix me off. That's what I'm talking about. That's one of the reasons why we gotta get rid of Morris, because soon as Randall will say something in the locker room, he's looking over at Morris, and Morris got to co-sign it. They need to stop that.
I don't know how. Listen, I'm not in the locker room. I can't speak on that. I'm not in the locker room. But hey, I'm gonna let you go, man, because I got a couple things I got to get to. All right, I appreciate the call, man. Have a great start to your week. All right, man. Have a great start to your week, man. That whole thing with Frank Ntilikina and Julius Randle and Frank Ntilikina not shooting the free throw, I'm not as mad about it as I guess other people are. You know what I'm saying? Could Frank Ntilikina had said, no, I'm going to shoot it? I guess he could have. I don't know what their conversation was. You know what I'm saying? They could have had a conversation, and he could have said, let me shoot it for this reason or for that reason or whatever it is. I don't know. That's not the reason we lost the game, because after that, we built a 16-point lead, right? So that's clearly not the reason we lost the game. Now, people will point to it and say, well, that's the reason that we, that we got to trade some of the vets because they take over the game. I mean, you could say that, I guess. I don't know if that's entirely true. You know what I'm saying? My thing with this, with this whole argument about the vets and all of this and all of that and the young guys, it's not that easy in the NBA. And if you want to go ahead and lose by 40 every single game and not be competitive, go ahead. You can play all young guys if you want to. But you're not going to develop if you're losing by 40 every game. I don't care what you say. I don't. You're not. Have you ever been on a team where you lose by 30 and 40 every single game and you're not in the game and every single game is garbage time from the third quarter on? You're not developing anything. And I can guarantee you, take Julius Randle out if you want to call him a vet. He's 25 years old. Take him out. Take Elfrid Payton out. Take Marcus Morris out. Take Taj Gibson out. Take Reggie Bullock out. Play the game with Frank Ntilikina, R.J. Barrett, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, and whoever else you want to put at the 4. Right? Kenny Wooten or somebody. Right? Take all those vets out. Put that 5 on the floor. Let's see how many wins we get. Let's see forget wins. I'm sorry about wins. Let's see how competitive those games are. See if we are even in games. I can guarantee you we will not be. With that group right there, we will not even be close. Damian Dotson out there, put Kevin Knox at the 4, Damian Dotson at the 3, or R.J. Barrett at the 3, Damian Dotson at the 2. Damian Dotson, everyone considers him a young guy. He's the same age as Julius Randle. But everybody considers him a young guy just because he hasn't been in the league as long. But you consider Damian Dotson a young guy. Right? Seriously. Do that. See if we don't lose by 30 every single game. And you can't tell me losing by every 30 every single game that these young guys are developing and getting better. They're not, bro. I'm sorry. You got to be in competitive games to get better. That's how you get better. That's how you get that juice, man. Like when you lose by 20 and 30 every single game, it does something to you up here. It hurts. It's painful. You don't develop that way. You got to be in competitive games. You got to be in competitive basketball games. That is the purpose of having vets like Julius Randle and Marcus Morris and Taj Gibson out there, so you can help keep the game competitive, so the young guys can play in games like this, when you come down the stretch and you're fighting to try to win. And you got a guy like R.J. Barrett that can try to, have some big plays in that situation. Mitch Robinson can try to have some big plays in that situation. Frank Ntilikina had a big, went to the basket and he got fouled. He missed the layup, right? But that's how you develop, by being able to have those type of games where players can make plays and do things in tight situations. Not getting blown out by 30 every game. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work that way. You get blown out by 30 every single game, you get depleted. You start guessing whether or not you want to play this game, man. Let's listen to R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle talk about the game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it. Here we go.
And just that first and second quarter.
Sorry about that. Let me bring that back. There we go.
RJ, I mean, this game was all over the place today. Your take on just that first and second quarter, the way this team shoots 78%, but then comes back and then allows the Clippers to score 47. I mean, what did you see there?
I mean, you know, it's a game of runs. We had a great first quarter, and then they had their run in the second quarter, and you know, then the game was kind of pretty balanced after that. But yeah, it's a game of runs.
Down the stretch of this game, you know, Paul George falls out. They don't have Kawhi, but then the way that, you know, Lou and then Harold were able to step up in this one, what was the challenge of trying to pick those guys up defensively?
The thing with them is they have two of the best scorers in the league coming off the bench. So, you know, even if no Kawhi, no Paul George, they still are really good. And Lou just took over. He just took over.
Julius, that was a wild game, certainly one of the more wild games I can remember seeing in a long time. I mean, for you, what was your perspective on that? I mean, is that one of the more intense games you've been in?
Yeah, it was definitely intense, very competitive from the start, so it was a fun game to be a part of.
How would you sort of break down what you saw in the first and second quarter there when, you know, you guys come in, shoot 78%, score 45 points, but then in the second quarter you end up giving up 47?
Yeah, we just didn't get stops. Lou got hot. Montrez got a lot in the paint. And from there, they just were confident. PG had a roller early, but I mean, that's just normal. So, you know, that player stepped up.
There were so many effort plays from this group down the stretch to put that 10-0 run together. And then, you know, some of the off-balance shots that we saw from Marcus late, that kind of thing. I mean, how would you describe the effort that this team played with tonight?
It was fantastic. You know, the energy, the effort, the focus was there. We just need a couple more stops, you know, to close it out. But all our effort and intensity was really there.
Yeah, and, you know, that second quarter, you know, he said, you know, he said basically, you know, we didn't get stops and this and that. I think there was more to that. I think the Clippers got into the Knicks' head in that second quarter. So it was more than just not getting stops and things like that. It was the Clippers, you know, and the Knicks weren't able to handle what the Clippers were bringing to the game in that second quarter. The Knicks weren't able to handle, you know, the way that they can get under your skin and do those type of little things. And that's something that the Knicks are going to have to get better at. You know, they're going to have to get better at. Look, listen, the scouting report on the Knicks is that, you know, if we get a lead, you can get it back because the Knicks will give it back. And that's exactly what they did in that second quarter. So it was more than just, obviously, you couldn't stop Lou and Trez. We had a very hard time with it, but it was more than that. It goes into the psyche of the Knicks. You know, the Knicks got to be smarter. They got to understand what the Clippers want to do, and they got to be able to withstand it. You know, let's listen to Coach Mike Miller, and then I'm going to get back to the guys in the video chat. It's Coach Mike Miller, ladies and gentlemen.
Wild game today. But, you know, taking a look at late in this one, just your thoughts on Morris, the way that he was able to hit some of those unbalanced shots at the end to keep you guys in this one. And then also just, you know, the effort that you saw from your guys to put that 10-0 run together, even to get to where you were.
Well, I think the biggest thing that comes to mind right now is I love the effort, you know, the fight, the scrap, to have to come back. That's obviously a high level team, and when you get down to them as the game went, it was one of the wilder games I think I've been a part of, with a big first quarter, then it flips, it's a big second quarter, and then come back and have a chance. But the effort and just, you know, the grit that we showed to stay in that game and put ourselves in a position at the end, you know, to get a win. I'm really proud of this group.
What do you make of those first two quarters? You know, you come out, shoot 78%, 45 points, and then you end up giving up 47.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, you know, we came out, you know, the ball was moving, we were in a great rhythm, we had such balance across the board, and we put up a number, and then they came back, and I mean, you know, the force that Harold played with, and then Lou Williams got going, and then Paul George got going, and then they put up a big number. So that was tough. But, you know, when you get in that, you've just got to weather it and hopefully take away some easy ones and make sure we're trying to score where we're letting it stretch out during that time.
You mentioned Harold. You know, what did you see from him, the challenges that he provides, given not only the 30-plus points he scored, but then also the way that defensively he was able to make things really difficult on Mitch?
Well, he really uses, you know, he's obviously a strong player, but he uses his body great. his positioning, his angles. I thought they did a good job with that attack as they were rolling him down the lane in that first part of the second quarter, where he really established it, and he came in and created the contact and got the angles that he wanted, and he made a lot of plays.
Are you, with the 130 points or whatever your team scored, are you equally somewhat displeased defensively to give up that many?
Well, all games are going to be different. You know, obviously, if we had our way, we would take away things and be able to stop. But, you know, the game goes. That's why we play the games. And they're a high-level offensive team. They got going. They scored the ball. We had to try to weather it. And I think, you know, that's where we were. We had to weather that storm.
Mike, I mean, how much is he meaning to you guys right now and what he's been able to do?
He's, you know, each game he provides so many things, and we're not even talking about what we're seeing in the box score. So he's had an outstanding year, and every day, you know, we come out, keep talking about all the great things that he's doing, and he just keeps playing better. He keeps raising it up to another level.
Did you see something different with RJ tonight as opposed to some of his?
Say the first part again.
Do you see something different in RJ's demeanor tonight as opposed to some of the games where he just hasn't scored?
Well, I thought he came out. I thought he was very selective early, and he did a great job of finding some seams in the defense. He got through it. He finished the ball well. You know, he started out 5 for 5 and you know, was getting to the foul line. He got off to a great start tonight.
Like, I guess it was 3-2 that were in quick succession. Did you have a problem with any of that stuff?
I can't hear you.
The technical fouls that were in succession. I think there was 3 of them. Did you have an issue with? Did you feel like your guys lost their cool, or is it just kind of?
We can do a better job with our composure, and we need to. As hard as we're playing, we don't want to do anything that takes away from that.
Mike, it's been a month essentially now since you've taken over. In season, it's hard to put your thumbprint on things. How have you managed to do it? Do you feel like you have? Are you seeing the things in your team that you want to be seeing?
Well, it's, you know, we've started out. It's all about this team. It's all about these players. It's not about anybody's, you know, print that they're putting on the team. It's, you know, this team coming together and playing as well as they can play. We've got a great coaching staff. We've got a great locker room of players, and everybody's buying into that. We're having fun with it. We're going to keep going with it.
Are there ways to do it in season? I mean, typically these are things that are built in training camps and stuff like that. I mean, are you finding that you can do it in shoot-arounds and in practices? Is there enough time?
Well, I think, you know, to some extent, all teams are using the shoot-arounds for practices, and, you know, this month we have, 16 games in 29 days. So we have to do it that way, and these guys are pros. I mean, the way they approach it, they come in ready to go. You know, whatever the game plan is, they're you know, picking those things up. They're staying together, and, you know, the big thing we control is what kind of effort, what kind of consistency we play with, and are we playing to an identity? That's what we're trying to control right now.
And I think that the Knicks, Mike Miller, you know, actually has these guys starting to build an identity. You know, obviously the team is still going to be up and down. There's going to be good games. There's going to be bad games. But they're starting to build something here. You know, we're starting to see some good things happen. You know, so it was a good game, a wild game. I mean, you know, you score 132 points. You hope you win that game. You would expect that you would win that game if you shoot 57% from the field, score 132 points. You don't expect to give up 135. But like you said, every game is different. You know, and now we're on to the Los Angeles Lakers, which is going to be a very, very tough game to get. So I'm hoping that we can, you know, come out and fight. Come out and fight. It's going to be a tough game. Then we play the Utah Jazz. Another tough game. But I think Mike Miller, you know, he's you know, we've talked about it a lot. And he's changed a lot of things. The team is definitely a different team. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. You know, they were just 5-5, but obviously they dropped 2 in a row. But we'll see if they can continue to buy in. And I don't even want to say buy in. I don't really like buy in that much. But, you know, that they continue to play with the philosophy that Mike Miller wants to play with. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, I'll be doing my first Knicks Weekly episode on Sportscaster. So please make sure that you join me on Sportscaster tomorrow night. I'll be on at 10:30. Okay? Now, with Sportscaster, there is no way for me to set up the event and you get a notification. It's not like YouTube. It's a little bit different. All right, so make sure that you follow me so that when I go live, you're able to jump on. Now, what I'm going to do is about 9:30, I'm going to put out a video to tell you to join me on Sportscaster. All right, so it'll be a little 1 minute and 30-second video to tell you to join me on Sportscaster that we're getting ready to do this Knicks Weekly. Want you guys to be a part of it, all right? So make sure you join me tomorrow night, Knicks Weekly, 10:30 p.m. on Sportscaster. Right now, I'm putting my link to Sportscaster in the YouTube chat so you can follow me there. All right. Knicks Weekly, ladies and gentlemen. And basically, we're going to wrap up the week for the Knicks, and we're going to talk about everything that transpired and what's going to transpire in the following week. So make sure you join me. All right. Knicks Weekly on Sportscaster. It is exclusively to Sportscaster. And if any of you have the idea that you want to be a sportscaster, you want to kind of do this here, Sportscaster is a really good place to do it. You can win money too. Check out Sportscaster. Sign up. All right. And if you're not following me on Sportscaster, follow me on Sportscaster right now. And if you're on Sportscaster right now and you're not following me, follow me. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I go live, drop a video, or post to my community section. And remember, this Thursday, going on sale are tickets to the Knicks and Nets game on January 26th, and there's going to be a short turnaround. You're going to have until about the 15th or 16th to buy these tickets. All right, and they're not really expensive compared to what we've done before. So make sure you get them. Thursday, 12 p.m., that link is going to be out and it's going to be available to you. So make sure that you have a couple dollars set aside to purchase these tickets, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Make sure you check me out on Sportscaster tomorrow. Again, just put the link in the YouTube chat. All right. Let me get back to the video chat here. I know I got some guys up here that want to get their take in. I got Worldwide West. Ernesto has joined me. Evergreen is here. So we got a group of guys here that want to talk. Get the Worldwide West. Wes, I'm coming to you. All right. I'm coming to you, Wes. Let me get you unmuted here. Worldwide West, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yo.
Yeah, what's going on, bro? It's on you.
You talking to me, Worldwide?
So this is what I need you to do. This is what I need you to do. He's new. Worldwide West is new to the video chat, so he's learning the system. You're gonna have to mute everybody else so that you can hear me, and then we can have that conversation. All right. As a matter of fact, somebody show him how to do that while I talk to Ernesto. Okay, Ernesto, I'm coming to you. All right.
Come on, Robbie, coming to me.
Ernesto, what's going on, man?
What's popping, my brother, Sim?
I'm good, bro. I'm chilling. How you been?
I've been good, man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Happy
Glad to see you.
To you and your family, man.
Say that again?
Happy holidays to you and your family.
Yeah, same to you, man. Same to you.
And everybody out there in the chat as well, bro.
Man, so tell me, man, what do you think against the Lakers? We play the Lakers Tuesday night. We got a chance?
Yeah, we got a chance.
I mean, the Lakers are a high-powered team. Right? They're a high-powered team. Of course, they got LeBron and they got AD. How much of a chance do you give us?
We'll probably be like a 10-point underdog.
Okay.
So that's where the line's going to be at least, you know. I mean, if you're a betting man, but it's going to be around 11 to 13 points probably.
Okay. What do you think? What are we going to have to do to beat the Lakers?
Well, we're going to have to start hitting our free throws for once if we want to have a shot at any team that plays above 500. And
definitely that.
Tonight. Free throws is still a big issue. You got to knock down those free throws. But Mitch is going to have to play a lot of minutes in order for us to have a chance. And obviously he's going to have to play out of foul trouble. But One thing I want to see from Mike Miller, man, I want to see we need more shooting. So now that you have Kadeem Allen and you have him, I want to see I want to see Kadeem Allen and in the backcourt more together. You got to have at least. I mean, I don't want to see RJ and Peyton on the floor in the fourth quarter when we're trying to close out teams. They can't shoot. You can't have two non-shooters in the backcourt in the fourth quarter in crunch time. It's not a good look. I know RJ had a great game today, but that hasn't been the case. I mean, it's been a while since RJ looked good. Let's start right there. It's been a while. So, I mean, good thing for RJ. I mean, he had to have a good game, but again, Miller can't have Peyton and RJ in crunch time. Both of them, if you look at it, both of them are similar players. They're good at handling the ball. They're decent playmakers. Both are inconsistent at finishing at the rim. Both are bad free throw shooters. Both are bad shooters in general. So they kind of mimic each other. I don't want to see them together on the floor at the same time, especially in the fourth quarter during crunch time. That's my only problem with Miller. He goes too much with that combination of Peyton and RJ, and that's not working. That's not working.
Now, the only thing I'm going to say is Kadeem Allen probably, once Peyton comes back, Kadeem Allen probably isn't going to continue to be here. I mean, they called him up because, you had Frank Ntilikina at the point guard spot, and then, Peyton, was with his son, or with his child. Congratulations to Elfrid Payton for having a child. Congratulations. And he's, with his wife and there with his child. But he'll probably be back with the team. I don't know if he's going to be back for the Lakers game, but sooner or later he's going to be back with the team. And then Kadeem Allen is going to probably go back to the G League.
And Tim, another issue that I have. Look, we're in. Our main objective, our main priority should be developing our kids, right? Our youngsters. Don't you agree?
I do. But I think we're doing that.
All right, but
I have a difference of opinion than everybody else. I think playing in competitive games helps to develop your young players.
I want Miller to hold our young players more accountable, and I want him to have them to give them individual assignments. For Frank, it's as simple as this. You have to push this kid. So look, you got to sit him down and tell him, look, Frank, I need you to take at least 6 threes a game. 6 threes a game minimum. I need you to go and drive to the basket at least 5 times per game. 5 times per game minimum. I want you driving to the basket. Get to the basket. I mean, simple things like this. I mean, I want to see it done. You can't just You can't just sit back and see if he does it. You got to push him. You got to tell him to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's what a coach does. That's what he's supposed to do, and I'm not seeing that. So I mean
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I don't know if I want to see Frank shooting 6 threes a game.
Why not? Why not?
Huh?
You don't think Randall shooting 6, 8 times a game.
Hey, I argued about that too. I mean, I argued about that too, saying, he don't need to be shooting them. He started making them. He didn't shoot them well today, but he started making them, right?
He's been jacking up threes like if he's Steph Curry.
But I don't know if I want Frank shooting 6 threes a game. I'd like to see him going to the basket more. You know what I'm saying? And so I agree with you though. I would give him an assignment.
6 threes is not that many shots. To be honest with you, with the pace of the offense in the new NBA, 6 threes is not that many shots.
Well, I mean,
you know how many? Look, they have KP shooting like 9, 10 threes a game minimum.
I mean, but that's what KP does. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what KP does.
It's just an example, but I mean, if you're looking to develop these guys, I mean, that's my goal.
I get you.
I want Kevin Knox shooting at least 7 threes a game. I want Frank shooting at least 6. I want him driving to the basket at least 4 or 5 times. These are things I need to see them.
I hear you. I hear you. You know, basically saying, give them some assignments, give them some goals for each game. But we don't know if that's not happening. You know, we don't know what Mike. We don't know if that's not happening.
Then he shouldn't play because if you tell him to do something, he should do it.
But what I'm saying is, you're saying it. You want to see him shoot 6 3-pointers. You want to see him drive to the lane this many times. Maybe Mike Miller is giving him assignments. They may not be the same assignments that you're asking of them. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the assignments that Coach Mike Miller wants to give. You know what I mean? So just because we say, the fans might say, well, we need Frank Ntilikina to do this. We don't know what Coach Mike Miller has in mind. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Coach Mike Miller wants him to go to the basket more. Maybe he wants him to go at your pace and play the game the way that you play, and we're going to work around, we're going to work on this or that. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. It's hard. We're not in the locker room to say if Coach Mike Miller is or is not giving these guys, certain assignments or certain goals or asking them to reach certain things. The only thing that I can say that indicates that they're not doing what Coach Mike Miller wants is if they're not on the floor. That's the only thing that I can use to indicate that they're not doing what he wants, that they're not on the floor.
Talking about not being on the floor, what's the issue with ISO?
What's the issue with Knox?
With ISO.
Oh, with ISO? I have no idea. I don't know, man. I mean, listen, he wasn't getting on the floor with Coach David Fisdale. He's not getting on the floor now.
The only thing I can think of is that they know he's a free agent, so they're not playing him, so that way they don't have to pay him that much money. And he's going to be a restricted free agent, I think. So, I think he's unrestricted.
Unrestricted, yeah, he's unrestricted.
I think the Knicks is trying to tank
his value, tank his value.
Tank his value.
I don't know, man.
Free agency. I mean, they're not playing him at all.
So what's the purpose of not playing Damian Dotson? Same?
Well, no, he's been playing, but he's been playing less now because of Reggie Bullock. And
right. I mean, he didn't play tonight.
So they can trade him.
Yeah, he didn't play tonight. I don't think he played versus Phoenix either.
Bullock is going to get Damian Dotson's minutes until he gets traded. That's probably what's going on.
Until Bullock gets traded? You think Bullock is going to get traded?
Yeah, I think Bullock and Morris are on their way out. And one thing I wanted to touch on, look. I've been taking a look at this year's draft. I've been doing a lot of research at all these prospects, and from what I can tell right now, man, this is going to be one of the worst draft classes that we've seen in the last decade. So if the Knicks were smart now, which I know they aren't, but if they were smart, they would probably. What I would do. If I'm trading some of these veterans, I would trade for picks that are in 2022. And the reason being, 2022 is the first year we're going to have the 18-year-olds come in. So guess what? You're going to have a bunch. It's going to be a loaded draft class because there's a lot of more options. You're going to have 18-year-old guys come in on their first year. You're going to have the previous year's one and done that have 1 year of college experience already. Those are going to be eligible. You're going to have your sophomores and your juniors, and then you're going to have the type of player that plays 4 years in college, and it's already he's already like NBA ready, but his skill is not high, but he has a medium floor. Those type of players. It's going to be a lot of more value to picks in 20. Look, this draft class sucks. It's going to be hard to find anything in the late rounds. 2022 is where they see it, man. If they can, I'd rather take the picks later on because they're going to be worth much more.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. One thing that I do want to say, looking at when we look at our roster, so many people, I don't know, man. So many people, say that we're playing, the older guys over the younger guys. We really only have 3 older guys on this team. I guess you can put Reggie Bullock in there too. That's it. We really only have 3 older guys on this team. One of them recently hasn't been playing at all. Marcus Morris is 30. So he's obviously considered an older guy. Wayne Ellington is 32. He hasn't been playing. Taj Gibson is 34. Reggie Bullock is 28, so he's teetering, right? When you look at the rest of the guys on the team, Elfrid Payton, he's 25. He'll turn 26 in February. Damian Dotson is 25. Everybody cries, about Damian Dotson playing and all of this stuff. And, people consider Damian Dotson one of the young guys. Well, Damian Dotson is 25. He'll turn 26 May 6th. All right. He's older than Julius Randle. Julius Randle just turned 25 November the 29th. So Julius Randle's 25 years old. Bobby Portis, he's 24 years old. He'll turn 25 February 10th. Alonzo Jerry is 23 years old. Dennis Smith Jr. is 22 years old. Mitchell Robinson is 21. He'll turn 22 April 1st. And actually, Mitchell Robinson is older than I thought, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just being real with you. He's older than I thought. All right, Mitchell Robinson is 21. I thought Mitchell Robinson was 20. All right, Frank Ntilikina is 21 years old. He'll turn 22 July 28th. You got Iggy. Iggy's actually older than Kevin Knox. This is what pisses me off so much about people with Kevin Knox. It really does. Iggy is older than Kevin Knox. Iggy is going to be 21 January the 8th. All right, Kevin Knox is 20. He doesn't turn 21 until August 11th. That really just bothers me. I'm sorry. And you can say what you want, but it bothers me. So, we complain so much about, we're playing these older guys. We're playing these vets. The only thing that makes some of these guys vets is their length of time in the league. Their length of time in the league doesn't always match up with their mental and physical development, though. Doesn't. Everybody's ready to, we got to kick Bobby Portis out of here. He's a vet. He's a vet that we don't need. The dude is 24 years old. 24 years old, if you think a player plays until they're 37, 38 years old, that's another 13 years that he has in the league. Get Julius Randle out of here. He's another vet that we don't need. He's 25 years old. Probably has another 14 years in the league or 13 years in the league. I'm just saying, people, please look behind the headlines and what some of these, so-called people say and really take a look at the Knicks roster. 3 guys over 30 years old. 3 players over 30 years old. And then, of course, you got R.J. Barrett, who's 19 years old. And he won't turn 20 until June 14th. Please think, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at it. Because, some of these guys that you consider vets are still in development. These guys are still in development. I'm not saying that they're going to turn into these stars and all this kind of stuff, but some of these guys are still in development. We have a very, we got a young team. So, disagree with me if you want. I get it. I understand. All right. Let me see. Evergreen's not there. Oh, there he is. Let me get to him. Hopefully, World Wide West, let me know if you've got it figured out. Okay, cool. I'm coming to you next. Evergreen, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
I'm good. I'm chilling. Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
I agree with just about everything you're saying thus far. However, I'm still confused as to what this team's trying to do in regards to the Morris situation, because that Morris situation is what clouds all the fans' minds as to, what are we going to do with this guy? Are we going to keep him? He drops 38. Rumors going around saying he wants to stay. Do we keep him? Stay with this youth movement? Like, what do we do? And I'm not for it, and I'm not against it. I don't have no dog in the fight. But how do we intend on developing? And a lot of people get this development thing messed up, and they think that it's just like your developing comes when you're playing in the game. Like, no, your developing comes in the off season, right?
No, that's true.
Your true development comes in the offseason. Like, you don't have time to put up 1,000 shots in a game and develop your jump shot. You do that when you're in practice. You do that when you're in the off season. You do that when you're in training camp, right? So I'm all for the development of the younger players. However, I just don't think that the minutes are being distributed properly. Like, yeah, Marcus Morris had 1 assist, 35 points or 38 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, blah blah. But is that enough production on his end to allow the other players to grow as well? Right? Is that time that he's put in? Is that enough time that's being put for Knox to grow? Is that enough time being put in for Dotson to grow? Right? So the reason I specifically put in Dotson is because, in reality, tomorrow we lose this game. Well, not tomorrow, but whenever we play the Lakers, we lose that game. I think if Reggie Bullock's playing the 2 at the same time that Marcus Morris is in the game, I think that tomorrow, Knox play Marcus Morris at the 3, and you have Reggie Bullock come off the bench for Marcus Morris to at least try to do their best to contain LeBron James on a size standpoint. But the minute distribution is the only thing that frustrates me right now with the way this team has been performing as of late, and I'm not upset at the way the team's been performing at all. I'm just frustrated at just seeing like, hey, we have so much talent within. Well, not so much, but we have enough talent within, and we've seen all these little sparks from our youth, our super youth. Let's call them that, since you want to bring out age numbers. We've seen so much talent with the super youth that it's like we have the ability to exploit their strengths, utilize their strengths, but it's just not happening. So I don't know how to feel about Marcus Morris's minutes. I'm happy that he's dropping buckets. I'm happy that he admires Melo. I'm happy about all that. I'm happy that he won here. But I don't know if him being here is enough to allow our players to grow. That's my standpoint on it.
Okay. I get it. I mean, I understand the argument. You know what I mean? I just feel like this. If you don't earn your minutes through practice, and obviously they don't have a lot of practice, right? But there's certain things that you can, from the time that they do practice, certain things that you can see from players. If you don't earn it there, what makes you think you're gonna earn it in the game?
Right.
If you don't earn it to say, I etched out these 20 minutes because I put in this, that, and the other thing. So what makes you think if they can't do it in practice against, let's put it like this. We talk about Kevin Knox, and I'm all for continuing to try to develop Kevin Knox because I think the guy has a lot of talent, right? Mm-hmm. But we're a team that is, what are we right now, 10-26?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have what it takes to, if you haven't developed enough at this point in your career to, in practice, show that, yeah, I deserve to be out here. I should be getting this minutes and these minutes and that minute. And then when I do get 12 minutes, I'm not doing what it takes for me to show you that I deserve to be on the floor on a roster that has vets but is still not winning. Then I don't know how putting them on the floor, for 20 minutes just in the name of development really helps that person develop. You know what I'm saying? I get it that they get a chance to play, but is it? I don't know if it's actually teaching them, well, these are certain things that you really got to do to be good in the NBA. Now, I think you just got to earn your way to cracking the rotation, earning those minutes, earning your stripes. Besides it just being thrown out there, here you go.
I feel like the only example that we really have had as to a player cracking a rotation was based off of injury, right? Like when Alfred was out and DSJ was out, it was Frank starting, and there was a couple games where and this is under the Fizdale regime, obviously. There's a couple games where ISO was coming off the bench, with RJ get moved to the 1. So like we really got to see, okay, what we have in Frank. And then as soon as Alfred comes back and we got Frank coming off the bench, he's playing like a real pivotal role. So if that's the only way that we're going to be able to see exactly what Knox can really do outside of him, getting beat on a defensive end every single time on the wing, which I can't stress that enough, that it still pisses me off. But does it take for another one of our players to have some type of injury for him to step up and shine? Or is it like, okay, what is Coach Miller doing to show that he's coaching enough to see that he knows exactly what Knox is capable of doing, and he's putting them in situations to where he can, utilize his strengths? What is he seeing mismatches on the offensive end with Kevin Knox that he can exploit? Is he seeing mismatches on the offensive end with Mitchell Robinson, so on and so forth, right? Like, because again, I've said this once before, like, I am not a huge proponent of this is the starting 5 and that is the starting 5, especially on this team where you have a wide variety of skill that you can utilize and exploit. So I feel like what Coach Miller should be doing is looking at the matchups and saying, okay, this is an opportunity for this player to shine, and this is an opportunity for this player to shine. I mean, they all sit down and look at tape, after every game and probably between every practice. I don't know. That's what I would do if I was a coach. But I think that the fact that these young players, the super young players, are not getting the burn at all, it lets me know that the intent with the organization is to trade them all. Like, and that scares me a little bit.
Now,
Especially
let me ask you this.
With what Ernesto was saying in regards to this draft sucking, so I don't know. It's scary, but I feel like this is the best position we've been in the last decade anyway. So,
well, it is. As far as having young players and having talent and having draft picks, it's definitely the best position. But let me ask you, speaking from Mike Miller's perspective, right? Because let's rewind for a minute. Let's go back. Coach Fizdale, he tanked last season, right? Mm-hmm. All in the name of we're going to get young players so that we can develop, so we can do this. We're going to develop young players. His lineups were, last season just all over the place, trying to get young players minutes, trying to make sure that young players played here, did this, did that. It didn't work out for him because obviously we know that David Fizdale did some questionable things and he didn't have a system and all that kind of stuff. But tanking last year probably hurt him as far as being fired more than it hurt anybody else, right? Because, Guillermo talks about it, talks about it because he brought it up last year. And it probably hurt him, because you look back and when it's all said and done and it's time to fire him, you look back at last year's record, then you look at this year's record. So the same could be said for Mike Miller. If he goes into this thinking, I got to develop these players for the future of the organization, I can guarantee you when it comes time to interview on whether or not he's going to get the job, they're going to look at what he did with this team, right? And if he's focused on making sure that Kevin Knox gets a certain amount of minutes, no matter what, that could be detrimental to him, getting a job. I mean, that's a tough situation for him to be in.
But I'm not saying that like now. You know what I mean? Because we don't know what we're doing with the coaching situation. Hell, we don't know what we're doing with half these players since they're on one-on-one anyway, right? But I'm talking about if they're not doing it now, if the intent is to not develop them now and to try to develop a winning culture, not develop the players individually and allow them play, then that automatically implies that the intent is to get rid of them if they're not playing. Right? Because they're all on one-on-one contracts. All of them are on one year deal with 1 year options for trade afterwards. So where is and then the Kevin Knox, isn't his contract up the end of this year or the end of next year?
I think Kevin Knox is under contract for a while. I think his contract is pretty. Let me see. Kevin Knox. I think his contract is, he's on the books until, well, there's a team option in 2021-22. There's a team option.
Okay.
Yep. So Kevin Knox is getting paid $4.3 million this year, $4.5 million, basically $4.6 million next year, and then there's a team option in 2020-2021.
Yeah, well, I mean, that still has a solid implication that the intent is to move that guy, or not him specifically, but to move somebody, move a bunch of different players, and it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating seeing that and knowing that the intent when they first signed all of these players was to sign shooters and to be able to have cap flexibility. But what is the purpose of that cap flexibility when we know that the draft sucks this year, right? We know the draft sucks this year. We know for a fact that this is a horrible offseason as far as free agency is concerned. So what's the purpose of having so much cap flexibility at this point? Obviously, we shot ourselves in the foot with the whole KD Kyrie thing, but what do you do with that now?
I mean, I guess
looks like it looks like the ball is. It looks like there's nobody that's willing to play ball with us right now because, we have all this ability to do whatever we want, but nothing's available.
Yeah, nothing's available right now at all. I mean, hope, I guess the hope is that, one of these, somebody, how it goes in the NBA, somebody gets disgruntled and, something crazy happens and then they get moved. I guess the Knicks are hoping that when that happens, we'll be able to pounce.
And
and have
part
some.
Of our problem. That's part of our problem is that we're sitting here, consistently waiting on, the great white hope, if you will, not realizing that we have all this talent that we could really be developing right now.
But I think you have to prepare for it.
We put ourselves in a really good position to do a bunch with nothing.
Yeah, but I think it's better than. I think you have to at least have yourself prepared in the event. I'm not saying that that's, and I don't know what their thinking is. I'm not saying that that's all that they're thinking, but at least you have yourself prepared. Because then, let's just say we weren't prepared for it, and then somebody comes available, and everyone's like, oh, because the front management didn't have the salary cap set up, that, like that. So at least they're prepared for it. Now, then they got to make the right moves. So, if there's nobody available. Do we make a trade for someone who's that, a team that wants to get rid of a player that has a bad contract so we can take on a young player or take on a first round pick or, so then there's got to be strategic on how they use it and continuously hoping that one of their players can develop into a franchise player or that they can draft a franchise player.
Right. Well, my take on it at this point in time is if we decide to keep Mook, then I'm on Nate's side here with we make a move for D'Lo.
Okay, all right. And
if we decide to keep Mook, we make a move for D'Lo. Remember, I said before the youth is untouchable, but at this point in time, if we're not going to play the youth at all, like we got to figure out what we can do and what we can get in return.
But even if you make a move for D'Lo, he's still fairly young. He's 23 years old.
Right.
And he's still fairly young.
Saying. Like that's still a part of the youth.
Yeah.
Even if we was to make a move somehow for Cat, he's still a part of the youth movement too, right? What is he? 20, 24, 25 years old?
I think.
Yeah.
So, I think.
If you decide to keep Mook, then you make a move for Cat, or D'Lo.
Okay,
and then I'd say we make a move for D'Lo and bring Kenny Wooten down from the G League and run with whoever we got left over.
Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns is 24 years old. He just turned 24 November the 15th, so he's pretty young. And I think D'Angelo Russell is like 23 years old. I actually think D'Angelo Russell is 23. I'm checking it out right now. D'Angelo Russell is 23 years old. He'll turn 24 February 23rd.
Yeah, he's right around the corner. Yeah, that's still youth. And you know what? And you kind of open my eyes to the youth idea just now when you started bringing up the age of, Bobby Portis. I guess he looks a little bit older. I guess that Arkansas water they've been bringing down
Right.
makes him a little bit older, but I thought he was a little older than that. I knew about Reggie Bullock's age. We obviously knew about Julius Randle's age. But the players that we have, we're not going to be able to get anything for them unless we throw picks in. Like, if I had it my way, like, it's a PR nightmare, but Taj Gibson's got to go. Ellington's got to go. Don't want ISO to go, but he's not getting any minutes, so he's got to go. And DSJ's got to go, and I'm willing to keep everybody else.
Okay.
But we're not going to package anything like that with the potential of getting somebody that just signed a $200-something million deal. You know what I mean? Or some type of all-star or some max contract guy that's young. We're just not going to be able to do it unless we throw away all of our draft picks, which in reality, if we throw away the draft picks for this season, like, that's not bad because this draft sucks. So
looking at some of our guys, then I'm gonna go to World Wide West. Looking at some of these guys, just looking at their contracts. Julius Randle, there's only $4 million guaranteed in 2021 and 22. All right, his contract becomes guaranteed if he's not waived by June 28th, 2021. All right, now he can make $900,000 if he makes the all defensive team. All right, I'm pretty sure there's some jokes going on in the YouTube chat right now about that. Right? So he can make $900,000 for making an all defensive team, earning an all-star selection, or making the playoffs, having played in at least 65 games. All right, for Taj Gibson, it's only $1 million guaranteed in 2020, 2021. All right, his contract becomes fully guaranteed if he's not waived by June 28th, 2020. Wayne Ellington is the same thing. There's a $1 million guaranteed in 2020, 2021. His contract becomes fully guaranteed if he's not waived by June 28th, 2020. Elfrid Payton is the same exact thing. So they need to waive him by June 28th, 2020. And then Reggie Bullock is the same exact thing. They need to waive him by June 28th, 2020. Bobby Portis, there's a team option in 2020, 2021 for Bobby Portis, right? He makes $15 million this year. If the Knicks pick up his option, he'd make $15.7 next year. If they don't pick up his option, then obviously he won't be on the team. So all of those guys, Elfrid Payton, Wayne Ellington, Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis, there's a chance that they won't even be here beyond 2020. You know what I mean? So which makes all of those guys very, very tradable in the event something happens. Or, by having, with those guys, it's just as good as not having those guys on the team at all as far as the salary cap is concerned, or it's just as good as having salary cap space. People say, well, you should have kept the salary. Some people said, you should have kept the salary cap space. That way you can absorb somebody's contract. But you can do the same thing here because
with a trade, yeah.
You can do the same thing with a trade. You can absorb a contract and take on, take on a player, get a draft pick or another young player or something like that, because everybody's contract is, you can waive it before June 28th and you don't have to pay anything on it. So,
and that's what makes the D'Lo trade, in my opinion, so like difficult. And maybe Nate can elaborate on this, but like, who from Golden State has a bad contract that we can take on if we decide to trade? What bad contracts are over there? I'm not aware of any. I mean, I think the only bad contract that they in reality got rid of or didn't re-sign was Iguodala, because you know what I mean. Who over there is a bad contract? This is why they're going to be looking for us to give them the whole bag and the groceries inside.
I think let me see. D'Angelo Russell makes $27.2 million this year, $28.6 next year, $30 million in 2021-22, and $31 million in 2022-2023. There's no other bad contracts. Steph Curry, they're not moving him. They're not moving Klay Thompson. They're not moving Draymond Green. All of those guys. I mean, Steph Curry makes He'll be making in his last year's 2021, 2022. He'll make 45.7 million. Klay Thompson, he's on the books until 2023/2024, where he'll make 43 million. And then Draymond Green is on the books until 2023/2024, where he'll have a player option of 27 million. Everybody else, small contracts for everybody else.
So we already know that the Golden State issue, just logistically, is concerned. It's not like it's not feasible for them. It's not even, feasible for us because we don't have enough players to match up to that, or to even say, hey, you know what, the incentive here is we give you this and we'll take on your bad contracts. Let's do that. Like, no, they don't have any bad contracts, so we got to give them draft picks.
Well,
are we willing to do that? When I said that,
right.
A Worldwide West almost jumped out of his seat. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the only thing that I'll say is this. The only thing that I'll say is this, because I truly believe that they want to soup up, that D'Angelo Russell spot, the money that they're giving to D'Angelo Russell. I believe it's a placeholder for Giannis. They want to try to make a run at Giannis, right? Because everybody else's contracts are so small. Kevon Looney makes 4.4. Alec Burks makes 2.3. Willie Cauley-Stein, 2.1. Jordan Poole, 1.9. Jacob Evans, 1.9. Amari Spellman, 1.8. Glenn Robinson III, 1.8. Marquise Chris, 1.6. Eric Pascal, he doesn't even make $1 million. I mean, their contracts are so small. These other contracts is what make up the majority of their salary cap. $40 million for Steph Curry, 32.7 for Klay Thompson. He's not even playing. He's getting that 32.7. D'Angelo Russell, 27.2. Draymond Green, 18.5. They make up the majority of their salary cap. So I could see them wanting, if they wanted to move D'Angelo Russell, just looking for salary cap relief. So that in 2021 they have space for Giannis and they don't have to do anything. They can sign him outright. So I could see him looking for some salary cap release. Now, I still believe, I agree with you, they would probably want young players in the draft pick too. Want some young players in a draft pick form. So yeah, they would want it all. Young players, draft pick, and salary cap relief. I don't know. Let me get the West. You know what I'm saying? It's the first time Wes is called in on multiple occasions, but it's the first time that he's ever been in the YouTube, in the video chat. Wes, what's going on, man? Glad to have you.
Yeah, Sim, thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it, man. I'm over here, just watch this game. Figured I'd pop up and give my evaluation on things, on the game, and, things moving forward. As far as this game, I mean, you pretty much wrapped it up everything that was about. It was a good competitive game. And under Fizz, we would have never been able to compete. And when we went down 12, 13 points, we kept coming back each time. And there was some of the timeouts was just phenomenal timeouts, when he would stop the momentum, then he would make little changes in the game plan. It wasn't just a timeout for timeout, sit down and get a break. It was like he made a couple of adjustments and we came back and we ended up losing the game. But I'm going to start with this, right? I feel like management is more concerned. And when I say management, I mean the edict that Dolan is issuing to the people who are running the team. I think he's more concerned with public perception than actual team building. And I think that's why he's gotten all of these veteran players, because he's like, damn, if we win 17 games, we're going to look horrible. But if we win 29 games, it'll look like we're becoming a better team. Which to me, I don't think that should be a reasoning, because we're never going to win the public perception debate. Dudes, even if we made the playoffs this year, dudes would still be trashing us, talking about we're this, we're that. I'm done trying to look for like a pat on the back for our moves. We need to just keep our head down and understand that this is year 2 of a rebuild. And this is the problem in New York, because everybody gets impatient. But this is year 2. Last year was 1, this is 2. We're not supposed to make the playoffs this year. We're not supposed to make the playoffs next year, right? We still, in my opinion, haven't drafted that hands down, all right, this is a cornerstone franchise player. I heard somebody word it well when they were talking about guys like Mitchell Robinson and RJ Barrett. Those are 2 guys that a superstar wants to go to war with. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm coming to the Knicks. I'm talking about these in RJ in 2 years from now, Mitch in 2 years from now. A guy comes to the Knicks. He's like, all right, what dogs do I have to actually put in work and play with me? RJ, Mitch, all right, those are two guys. I'm gonna even throw Frank in there as a backup point guard. You know what I mean? Other than that, we don't have much of anything. So then you got to ask yourself, do we want to win 29 games this year, or do we want to acquire more assets so that we could potentially draft a player like Mitch, who was drafted in the 30s, right? Because I keep hearing this notion that this draft sucks. That's nonsense. Our roster sucks. This draft does not suck, because you can't tell me you can't name 10 guys in this draft. You have not thoroughly evaluated the players in this draft. I haven't either, but I've gone at least like 12 deep so far, like looking into this draft. And there's a lot of guys who could help us out on this team. You know what I mean? Beggars can't be choosers. And in the position that we're in right now, we need a player in this draft. We need a point guard. I mean, that's undeniable. We need a starting level point guard, right? So I feel like this team and management issuing that edict, they got a calamity of players, man. They have 4 guys at shooting guard, 5 if you count Frank. They have no one true small forward, right? Because they got Reggie Bullock playing the 3 at times. They got Marcus Morris, who's really a 4. He's not super athletic. That's why he's never able to finish around the basket. With him as either a 3 or a mid-range shot. You got Julius Randle, who, I'm not going to lie, I wanted Julius Randle. Now I want nothing to do with him. I don't care if he scores 30 points a game. He destroys the flow of the offense. And his attitude is very condescending to the young players, right? What he did today was egregious. Frank, shooting 85% at the free throw line. He steps up. Dude, Julius can't shoot free throws. He's been shooting trash the whole season because he thinks he's Debo. Nah, I'm going to take these free throws. Step aside. Clank, miss. Not only did he miss that, he missed a couple other free throws. You know what I mean? We all miss some free throws, but just that's one example of how you be trying to Debo dudes. Like, oh, he gets the rebound, Frank, it's the point guard. Nah, keep him moving. And he's still doing this stuff. He's still overlooking RJ, not nearly as much as he did before, but he's still doing it. And everybody's pointing to his stupid assists. He's a selfish passer. You ever see what a dude who's like, I'm only going to pass if I know it's going to get me an assist, not necessarily the what do they call it, the football pass or whatever, the pass that gets it to another player who gets the assist. You know, he doesn't really care for that. If you're cutting to the basket and he knows he's gonna get an assist, he'll give it to you. But if he's pushing the ball up court and you're filling the lane, he's not gonna give it to a young player and allow him to take it to the basket. RJ is best when he's going to the basket. When he catches the ball anywhere from the foul line, anywhere from the 3-point line to the foul line, and he's already in motion. So when a defender commits, he can make a move and get to the basket. He gets to the basket, but when Julius is running at fast rate, he's not looking up to RJ. And him and Morris, the whole game, for long stints of the game, are playing a 2-man game back and forth. Now, I like Morris, but let me ask you a question. Who can create more? Can Morris create more at the NBA level, or can RJ Barrett create more at the NBA level? Now, we saw in the beginning of the season when Fizdale was actually letting RJ handle the ball in his hands, he was having 8, 9, 10 assists, 7 assists, 6 assists. Find me a game where Morris was doing that. I feel like the role that they're putting Morris in, having him initiate offenses, is the role that RJ should be in. And the role they're putting RJ in, have him off to the corner catching and shooting, is the role that Morris should be in, because Morris is a better catch and shoot player than if you jump out on him, he can one dribble, still hit the mid-range shot. And RJ needs the ball in his hands. That's why he's not shooting so well. He's a rhythm shooter. He's a rhythm player. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that's throwing him off. So Fizdale was totally isolating RJ and killing him. So he had to go. I don't even want to talk. Fizdale was just a calamity. So I'm going to move on to Kevin Knox. I wanted us to draft Kevin Knox. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to sit here and like, oh, I wanted Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I wanted Kevin Knox. I'm very disappointed in Kevin Knox. Don't want to trade the man. He's played about maybe 93 games in the NBA, if that. He didn't play 82 games last year, right? Buddy Hield was a bust after his second year in the league. Kelly Oubre was a bust after year 2. Otto Porter, Gordon on the Orlando Magic. CJ McCullough was trash after year 3. It was after his 4th year when he won the most improved player, because the year before that, he wasn't doing nothing. His whole career kept getting injured. And the list goes on and on. Now, Knox has a lot he has to figure out, but the man was younger than more than half of the first-round picks selected last year, right? He's younger than John Morant. You know what I mean? This guy needs to develop. Now, he needs a kick in the butt to, like, you know what I mean, have some more umph in his game, you know, but you do see flashes here and there, more than here and there. You do see legit flashes. And I just feel like with more experience, him getting more comfortable, he's a little shook out there. You know what I mean? I played ball when I was like 17, 18, 19, playing against 30-year-old men. That dynamic alone can make you a little bit intimidated. It's just, it's human nature. Some people mature quicker than others, and he's going to take him a little bit longer to mature. But for us to say that, oh, we're washing our hands of all these players, I don't agree with that, right? Another thing I'm going to say, we absolutely have to trade Morris. Not because he's a problem, but because we can get an asset for him, right? If a big name player becomes available, let's, like you said, Russell on the Warriors or Karl Towns, in a trade package, would they prefer Marcus Morris or would they prefer a first-round pick? Of course, they're going to want a first-round pick. If we could flip Marcus Morris for a first-round pick and some ancillary parts, to me, that's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? And like you said, we can re-sign him in the offseason if we really want him that bad. You know what I mean? I like what he's doing. I like his leadership. And it's going to be ugly after we get rid of him, because you're going to have Julius Randle going ballistic and nobody to really reel him in. But, you know, it is what it is. You might have to tough it out for a year and just do that, because another first-round pick is more valuable to the organization 5 years from now than keeping than keeping Marcus Morris for another 30 games. You know, 5 years from now, these 30 games will mean nothing. But if we have a player, right, in this draft that supposedly sucks, which it doesn't, that, you know, we pick another player at 25, 26, and 26 pick in the draft, we can select another player who can help. A small forward, a power forward, a center. There's a lot of centers in this draft. There's a lot of guards, point guards in this draft. So I think that's what we should do with Marcus Morris. Wayne Ellington, gotta go. Bobby Portis, see you later. I don't think we're going to be able to trade Julius Randle, but if we could, we should. And I think that if there's a team that wants Julius Randle, I feel like if they gave us back a bad contract and a pick, I'm with it. You know what I mean? Because Julius Randle's a chemistry killer. You know, and
I
even
actually
those games
think there would be some teams, if the Knicks were willing to trade or wanted to trade Julius Randle, I think there'd be some teams interested.
Okay, so
you know, his contract is not his contract is not demonstrative, right? And like I was saying, in that the 2021 season, let me see, hold up, let me get that back up again so I can read it. The 2021 Julius Randle, he's only guaranteed $4 million in the 2021 season. So if they waived him by June 28th, 2021, you're off the hook for that entire rest of that 19 million or whatever it is. All right, because he gets 18 million this year, 18.9 million in 2020, 2021. If you don't want him in June 28th, 2021, you can waive him, and all you gotta do is give him $4 million. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't think his contract is that egregious where other teams, if the Knicks were going to trade him, that they wouldn't, there'd be some teams jump on him. And if not this season, especially next season, because now that's almost like an expiring contract.
Yeah. And he's not a bad, horrible player. It's just that in the dynamics of the team right now, when you have young and upcoming players, and he's already in year 5, he came to New York to make a name for himself. Like, he had that in his mind, and I feel like the management put the battery in his back to reinforce that. He's not going to relinquish control of the team to some rookie, even though this rookie is better than him. You know what I mean? In my opinion. You know, so I just think that dynamic it's not going to work. He's not the type of player to allow a rookie to kind of shine. You know, he's not going to do that. And how long are we going to, because we can't play this game, right? We're either rebuilding and developing, or we're not. So we already screwed with Frank's trajectory of his career substantially because the first 2 years of his career, he barely played. All right, he was injured the second year, but all those games that you started Moutier and you only played Frank 12 minutes a game, explain to me what that did for our franchise for the next 2 years. Because Frank's on our team for the next 2 years, this year and next year. So it would have behooved the coaching staff and management to make sure that Frank gets the minutes and the experience so that coming into this season, we wouldn't have to have started Alonzo Trier, the point guard, and then went 6 games and then realized, oh, hey, we need to play Frank at the point guard, right? We can't keep doing that. And we're doing the same sort of thing with Knox, right? And man, the guy's an enigma because he's not playing well. So in one hand, are you going to reward a player who's not playing well and who has guys playing better than him? Well, I mean, if you look at the Atlanta Hawks are doing just that. You know, they have guys, and even the Cleveland Cavaliers with whoever that backup point guard is that they used to play on the Suns, Knight. Like he's better than Garland. And same thing with like Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter is better than dude that they drafted off Duke, but they're going with the youth movement. They're going with the young guys. They only have 8 wins. And if you read, which none of us do, the Atlanta Times or whatever they call it, they're not trashing the Hawks in the paper. Because guess what? Next year, the Hawks are going to be in a playoff picture. They only have 8 wins right now. So my whole point I'm going in circles, but my whole point is we don't need to worry about how many wins. It should be about how we lose, right? We shouldn't lose effortless games, getting blown out by 40 points, back-to-back nights like that dude Fizz was doing. Play highly competitive games, win, lose, draw on the back of our youth, right? As far as the second half of the season, we need to go with the youth. We need to get them 30, 40 games to develop their game so they can go into the offseason knowing what they need to work on with more confidence coming into next season. Because you can't go from playing 12 minutes a game and being a non-factor to all of a sudden, oh, yeah, we're expecting him to make a big jump next year and he's going to be nice, because that's just not realistic. Like, you have to get play. You have to get burned and go through the, the grind and get the stripes and get beat up, battered and bruised like RJ is right now. Like, Dudes is gonna splash threes in this game to win the game. Dudes is gonna scrape him like Devin Booker did, and then he's gonna come back. He's gonna have a hell of a game the next night. But you got to stick with him. You got to stay consistent. Just a couple of days ago, guys on the chat was like, "Yeah, we got to take RJ out the game in the fourth quarter. This, that, and the third." Like, damn, like a rookie has 4 bad games, and it wasn't even horrible games. It's not like he was shooting 5 for 25, 5 for 21. Guy was only taking like 8, 9, 10 shot attempts. He needs more shot attempts. That's the issue. He's only scoring 9, 10, 11 points, and he's only shooting 4 or 5 times a game. That means that he needs more shot attempts. That RJ should be shooting 17 times a game easily, And that's pretty much it, man. Management, they messed up with this roster because they got overlapping players. They got no true small forward. No true center other than Mitch. Nobody with bulk that could really physically match up with these guys. It's just and we get exploited every game because of that. I like, my man from Fort Greene, Brooklyn, but he old. He's not what he used to be, and he can't even play a bulk of minutes tonight. Bobby Portis, I don't like them. I don't like his game. He doesn't have a game that translates to wins. If he's hot, he's hot, cool. But that's like 2 every 10 games that he actually comes out, you know what I mean? And he's making a difference. So many times that he's just a body. And there's so many just
bodies. Yeah. We know that there's with some of the roster, and we figured from the beginning of the season, we knew that there was gonna be some that the Knicks were probably going to be looking to make some moves during this, during the trade deadline. So now we got to wait and see, what the moves are going to be and who these guys are going to be. The only thing that I want to keep harping on though is, I understand the whole thing about having the kids play, right? And just letting them play. The one thing with the Hawks is they have a franchise young guy, what I'm saying, that is going to, hopefully, and Trae Young, and is, at least in my opinion, he's a franchise point guard that's going to hopefully keep you competitive in games. The Knicks don't have. I don't think RJ, at least right now, is the kind of guy that's going to keep you competitive in games by himself. He doesn't shoot well enough from the field. You know what I'm saying? RJ is like he's shooting 32% from the field. I don't think that he alone would keep you in games enough to be competitive. And I feel like for the young guys to develop, you got to play in competitive games. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying earlier, if you went with a lineup, I mean, look, people, talk about the young guys playing, right? Frank Ntilikina played 28 minutes tonight. RJ Barrett played 36 minutes tonight. Mitchell Robinson played 21 minutes tonight. The only young guys that really aren't playing, and I'm not counting, I'm sorry, people are going to count Damian Dotson in the young guy category, although, he's only 3 years into the league, or 2 years, whatever, 3 years into the league. Right. He's 20. He's older than some of our newly drafted. He's older than Alonzo Trier. He's just as old as Bobby Portis. He's just as old as Julius Randle. He's just as old as those guys. He just hasn't been in the league as long as those guys. Right. So I'm not even putting him in that category. So the only two young guys that really aren't playing is Kevin Knox and Alonzo Trier. Alonzo Trier is not getting any burn at all. Kevin Knox is getting 6 minutes. But in my opinion, he probably is not even earning it. Right. Earlier in the season, he was getting minutes. Right. So, I mean, our young guys are playing. Iggy, he's down in the G League. All right. You got one young guy not playing. Alonzo Trier. Would you like to see him play? Yes, you would like to see him play. I would love to see him play. But he also has to do the things that the coach is asking in order to get on the floor. Gammo asked me a question earlier. He asked me about, I was saying this stuff about Kevin Knox. And he asked, well, then how do I feel about Kevin Knox playing more minutes than Alonzo Trier right now? Here's how I feel about it. I don't know what's going on in practice or in the locker room or things like that. So I can't explain it. I can't say it should or should not be happening because I can't tell you what's happening in the locker room. I can't tell you what Coach Mike Miller or David Fizdale or any other coach that's on the staff has said, Zoe, I want you to work on this or I want you to work on that. I can't say. I don't know. I don't know those logistics. None of us know those logistics. You know what I'm saying? So, when we sit and complain about this person's getting this minutes and not getting that minutes and doing this and doing that, we don't know everything that's going on inside the locker room. The same thing with the technical foul shot with Frank Ntilikina and Julius Randle. We don't know what conversation they had. You know what I'm saying? We don't know at all. Shoot. I mean, when Melo was here, Melo took every technical foul. He wasn't always the best free throw shooter on the floor, right? This is the first time that we've really seen that happen. And then the next time, it was Marcus Morris who shot it, who he shoots 85% from the free throw line. And he missed it as well. We've seen Frank Ntilikina go up there and shoot the technical free throws and miss them too. So I'm not, that doesn't bother me as much. I just feel like we want these young guys to develop the way that we keep saying, they've got to be in competitive games. Competitive games. That helps you to develop. That helps you become a man on the basketball court. Playing in games where you're getting your ass bust by 20, 30 points every time you step on the floor, it helps nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I can guarantee you, if you're playing, the minutes distribution, okay, I can understand it. Maybe, if you can find a way to mix up those minutes distribution, but I dare you. I just want it to happen one day. See how it looks. I can guarantee you what that result was going to be. And I'm not talking about wins or losses. I'm just talking about the game being competitive. Go out there with Frank Ntilikina, RJ Barrett at the 2. Put Kevin Knox at the 3. Put Mitchell Robinson at the 5. And then you can go with whoever you want. If you want to go with Kenny Wooten, if you want to go with Iggy, put them at the 4. Or put Kevin Knox at the 4 and put Iggy at the 3. All right, so you got Frank Ntilikina at the 1, RJ Barrett at the 2, Iggy at the 3, Kevin Knox at the 4, and Mitchell Robinson at the 5. guys probably get blown to smithereens. And then play Zoe off the bench. Right? And then, whoever else, other young guy you want to put out there. You want your guys to be playing in competitive games, man. Competitive games is going to help you get better. They're going to help you get better. Let me get to another phone call here. As soon as the guy calls me back, get to another phone call. That's just the thing to me. Competitive games help you get better. You know what I'm saying? And, go. Let's push these guys to go up through the ranks, man. I mean, like Wes just said, Kevin Knox played 90-something games. He's got a lot to learn in the NBA. I get it. A lot to learn. You know what I'm saying? But let's allow these guys to go up through the ranks and fight for, I know when I grew up playing on the playground, and it didn't matter if I was good or not. And there were a lot of older dudes that I was better than. But when I stepped on the court, it was when they allowed me to get on the court. You know what I'm saying? I was a little dude trying to get out there and get on the court with them. It was when they allowed me. If I step to the court, I'm like, no, I'm next. They're like, no, I'm next, little man. You know what I'm saying? So I had to fight my way and scrap my way so that someone would be like, nah, let's Shorty. Shorty's on my team. You know what I'm saying? Because I earned my stripes and I earned that respect. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't just stepping off to the side because I was some little kid that was nice or any other little dude that was nice. You know what I'm saying? It came first with me, getting out there and playing a little bit, and then it took another older dude to kind of vouch for me. And any other young dude that was out there, they vouch for you. Like, okay, I got Shorty Doo-Wop on my squad because he's nice. But you got to earn that. You got to earn that. That's how it works, man. That's how it works. That's how your players get better, in my opinion. That's how they get better, and that's how you build a culture, too. Caller, you're on live with NothinButKnicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, what's going on, Sims? This is Rob the Nick. This is the best way I can get on to you because I know my phone situation messing up right now. So,
okay.
Hey, y'all both said you and Worldwide. That was a deep conversation. I'm glad that you let him talk.
Yeah, let him talk. You got a lot of good stuff to say.
Yeah. He was really like what he was saying was right, and what you were saying after is 100% right too. I wanted to commend y'all on that little back and forth and the way that you let him, get his views off because he was 100% on point.
Okay.
I disagree with a little bit of what he said, and I disagree with a little bit of your lineup because my perfect lineup is Frank, Tria, Barrett, Knox, and Robinson.
Okay. I was just using that lineup. Okay, if you put Tria in there, I'm fine. I was just using that as lineup to show you put a bunch of young guys on the court like that, you know what I'm saying, without having any veteran presence, and you get blown out every single night, you're not doing your young guys any good. I'm just showing you want to have eventually in the future, maybe that's your guy. Maybe that's your squad. Maybe that's your team sometime in the future, right? But you want these guys to play in competitive games to build, so that they can grow and develop. That was my point in saying them guys. But go ahead.
Okay, because I look at them like this here. To me, that lineup is like a true lineup. You got a 6'5" shooting guard. You got a 6'6" point guard. Every position fits. And if you develop that chemistry along with the veterans. Now, look, we're in the crack. And look, like you say, they put the veterans on the team and everything, but and it's hurting. It makes you look at the development of the young guys are suffering if we in the win now. Even though the only one that I would probably keep out of all of them would be Morris. Everybody else got to go, but You have to know what your role is. If you want to be a part of this, and maybe a part of you being a part of this is you not starting. Develop this, 35 years old, maybe you be competing for a ring if that's what you want. 5 years later, develop and let us make moves off of what we already have. Not trying to, it just kills me that everybody is talking about free agency. That just, really just kills me. You know that. Why are we there? Let's develop what we have. We don't know what we have unless we develop. Every conversation, every stream, somebody is bringing up this guy's out there. He's saving money for this. But we're not concentrating on the main goal, what we have. Let's concentrate on what we have and build. If we see that we need to move a piece off the team, then we move that young piece off the team. But we know that we tried to give them every advantage to be successful as a New York Knicks. And that's what I want to see, even from the fans. The first person come out there in free agency, we want that. We want Donovan. We want, this guy going to be done in 3 years, so we need him. We don't need none of that. If these other teams can build all-stars, why can't we do it? It may be a second year. RJ's first year is better than Milwaukee Bucks do. Whatever his name is. His first year is better than his. So we got something to grow on, but we don't look at it like that. We look at it like, okay, yeah, trade an asset. He's not coming in the league, dropping 30. So we got to get rid of him. But he does everything on the floor well. Knox, I feel as though we need to get back to him. And we may need to move a piece to get him back on the floor. Trier, same way. Dotson, Trier, pick one. And you know me, I'm a Trier man. But if you're going to pick Dotson, I'm fine with it. But make a play on what direction we're going to. Tonight's game was a great game. But the outcome, I feel as though the refs jerked us. They jerked us. And we still stay competitive even though they jerked us. So we lost by 3. Good game. We scored, we played D, we came back, we lost. Okay, to a better team. So with that team, yeah, my boy dropped 39. In that type of game, I think Knox would have still gave us 25. We would have probably lost by more, but he would have been on the floor. Now, he want to be a part of this team. Morris want to be a part of the team. It reminds me back in the 80s when we first got Bernard. He was playing with a bunch of subject players, but his heart and his drive took us to the playoffs. And it set the stage for Patrick Ewing when he came. It was something that was there when Patrick came to the Knicks that, I have to take over from what Bernard did. Even though Bernard went to Washington, when he came in there, but it was like a precedence that was set. It was a mindset that when you came to New York, this is how you had to play. And Morris reminds me of that. So if we have to keep him at $20 million and he really want to be a New York Knick, let Knox do his thing. Or whatever position, or RJ. Because I see Randall is the same thing as what World Wide West was saying. Yeah, he going to get you 30. He had a couple good games. He was talking mad noise to Montreal. Montreal ain't saying nothing. And Montreal is the type of guy, if you watch the Clippers, he always talking noise, but he remember Morris he remember Randall from Kentucky. And he said something that he got caught on. He said, I used to bust his ass all the time, but not this game. He tore your ass apart until they put you on him. And I think that's something that Mike Miller should have seen earlier.
Oh, say that again. You saying that Montrez tore the Knicks apart until they put who on him? Randall, you saying?
And in the last part of the game, when he was first talking about him, Mitch was gone. He was killing Mitch. When we started coming back later on down the stretch, they had Randall. Randall was familiar with his moves. He didn't score as much. In that fourth quarter, he really did not score as much. If we would have made that switch early in the game, I thought that we would have ran away. Because Randall said, if you watch that game again, they was under the basket when Randall got that tech. This is the reason why Randall got that tech. Randall said, I used to bust that nigga ass in Louisville.
Hey, watch it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. But he said that to him. And he got the tech right then and there. And then he was killing Knicks for like 2.5 quarters. Then when they finally put Randall back on him in the fourth, Randall knows his move. If you're comfortable playing a player that you done played before, you better much can shut him down. And Randall limited him, except for that one move when he went to the basket. If you look at that game in the fullness, after that little fake when Randall went to the when Montez went to the basket, Randall did limit him. He was missing shots. He was doing a lot of things that he wasn't doing that he was doing on Mitch. Only because he was familiar with his style of play. They played in the Big East or Kentucky in the SEC. They played against each other. And he made that little comment early in the second quarter when he got that check, but he never checked him after that until the fourth. And then when he started checking him, we started coming back because it limited him. Lou had to do everything.
Yeah.
And then Lou started missing.
I think part of it though is that Mike Miller didn't want to get, if he was checking Montrez the entire game, then you get Julius Randle in foul trouble. I think that was part of it. Hey Rob, I'm about to get out of here. All right.
Okay, I feel you, baby.
I appreciate the call, but get that checked out. And also, when you get into YouTube, when you get into video chat, sometimes it sounds like your mic is up real high and it gets distorted. So you might,
okay,
yeah. So, but hey,
I was talking to everybody else, but then when I got to you, then it was like, okay, I'll check that out. All right, man. I'll try to figure that out.
All right. I'm about to get up out of here, man. Appreciate it.
Look, but you said something about that cast that you're going to be on every week. You need
Sportscaster.
Okay, Sportscast. What do I need to do to get that?
I don't. If you look, I'm going to put the link in the YouTube chat right now. So if you look at your YouTube chat, there's a link in there. You can click right on that link.
Okay, cool. I'll do that.
Yep. You click right on that link, and then you'll be able to follow me on Sportscaster. You better join in and follow me on Sportscaster.
So you're going to start with this Monday or?
Yep, this Monday.
In the future?
Nah, this Monday coming up tomorrow night, 10:30.
Oh, okay.
The first
10:30 at night? Okay,
yep,
10:30.
Yep, tomorrow 10:30 at night.
Okay, I got you.
All right, Rob. All right, man.
If I can't find it, I know my kids can.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I put the link up there, so.
Yeah, put the link there. Say, look, stay true, do what you do. And then, look, I listened to you and I couldn't comment on it, but I listened to you and Nate the Great at the end of the night. I stayed in there listening to you. Hey, look, keep on doing what you do, bro. Hey, look,
all right, I got
your dream, do it the way you do it.
No doubt.
Because at the end of the day, I'll be doing the same thing. And, hey, love you for what you doing, bro.
All right, man.
And my people.
Let me get to the next caller. Caller, you on live with NothinButKnicks. What's popping?
Hey, so thanks for taking my call, man. I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Because you and I spoke a couple of weeks ago, and you were bringing up a very good point. And you were talking about how Knox is 19 years old, right? And we have to be patient with him.
Uh-huh.
And I agree with that. He is a kid. But here's what you raised the point tonight, though, and I'm not trying to call you. Because I'm sure you're not being inconsistent. I want you just to explain it because I'm confused. He's 19, needs to get burned to get better. Like you said, he can't be getting it when we're just down 20. But then he's not getting it. Well, that's because of for potentially what's going on in practice. You know, and I guess where I'm just confused is, you know, he's a number 8 pick, number 9 pick? He's a lottery pick.
Right.
And you
9
talking,
pick.
and we talked a couple of weeks ago, you talked about the fact that he probably doesn't even know how to go hard. You were mentioning a young lady you had in your squad, and you were talking about how, you know, you had to teach her how to play, you know, how to play hard, or how to keep that motor going. Where I'm confused is, we got a young cat. What is he? Are we going to be patient? Are we not going to be patient? If we're going to be patient, you know, is 6 minutes, and tonight was less than usual, but still, is 6 minutes what's the right thing? I'm just confused about your view on Knox. Here's my concern, and I agree with you. He's a kid. I don't want to give up on him. But we can't miss on lottery picks. You know what I'm saying? You know, people try, you know, I heard a lot of people say, well, we got Mitch in the second round, so that makes up for that. We can't miss on lottery picks. You know what I mean? Not where we're at right now, you know, and, you know, it's part of the reason why I want to accumulate late first rounders or some more second rounders. We can miss on those. You know, like if we take Cassius Winston in the end, if we get a late round pick, if we take Cassius Winston and we miss on him, I can live with that. But missing on lottery picks, it just can't happen. So anyway, I just was curious, just you to clear up for me my misunderstanding on your position on Knox.
Right. So here's my position on Knox. Right. First and foremost, he's a young player. You know, I hear a lot of people that always say, you know, he's a bust. Let's trade him. You know, get rid of him. Get him out of here. I disagree on that. It's a season and a half into his career. To me, you don't give up on a young player a season and a half in their career, one that you drafted and you feel like they have promise. On the flip side of that, I don't feel like you give any player, you just give a player minutes just because they're the 9th pick. Right? I feel like proper development, and this is what I've been saying the entire show, I feel like proper development involves a player earning their stripes. You know what I'm saying? If you are not good enough to play on the floor, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be like that the entire career. It's just a year and a half into his career. But right now, if you're not good enough to play on the floor, then I'm not going to put you there. When you show me that you're good enough to play on the floor, then I'm going to put you on the floor. When you get out there on the floor, do the things that make me say I can't take them off. You know what I'm saying?
All right, good.
So that's where I am. You don't give up on them, but you do you don't give up on them, but you do the right things to train them.
And again, I agree with you. He's a year and a half into his career. But my thing with Knox, where I'm just confused at is, you know, you're paying him, and I said this to you a couple of weeks ago, so I'll repeat myself, but I can't dislodge it from my brain. We're paying him top-end money. You know what I mean? Like, this is what, was it a miss? In other words, it takes guys to develop. Are we taking guys that high in the lottery that it's going to take this long to pick to develop? My point is, not that I expect him to be an all-star, but I expect him to be at least 6-7 in the rotation because he's a lottery pick. And, you know, again, we've already made the investment into him. So I understand your point. You got to stick with him. I don't disagree with you. But, I mean, you understand my point when you're taking a guy 9th, that he, you know, 6 minutes a night on a team that's at the bottom of the conference is a problem, isn't it? I mean, did we make a mistake? Was he not right? I'm not saying he's not going to be a talent. But, you know, having him on the squad so we can keep for 4 years, he'll go somewhere else and be a star when he's 24. That doesn't do us any good, right? We're picking a lottery pick because he's supposed to be, I think, a contributor.
Well, I disagree. I disagree. Nowadays, today, your top 3 picks, in my opinion, the way things go today, your top 3 picks, yeah, you expect them to come in and produce right away. I think after your top 3 picks, and of course it's going to depend on the draft, but I think after your top 3 picks, especially when you're drafting guys that are 19 years old, you understand that you're signing up for guys to develop down the line. This is not the 90s, right, where when you drafted players, they had been in college until they were a junior. This is way different than that. You know what I'm saying? When you draft a player that's been in college till they were a junior, right? Yeah, you're expecting them to come in and contribute because their bodies are NBA ready. Their mind is NBA ready, right? If you think about it, this would be his, This would be his sophomore or junior year in college, right? This would be his junior year in college, and then he would come out into the NBA, and then you would probably say, give him a year or two to develop. I mean, that's what we're looking at when we draft these players. And coming up soon, you're going to have guys coming into the NBA straight out of high school. There's going to be a longer developmental period. It used to be that when players came into the NBA, you wasn't expecting these guys to have to learn fundamentals. You weren't expecting these guys to have to learn certain things because they had been through high school. They had been through college where they learned this stuff. Now they're supposed to come into the NBA ready. Maybe it is a year or two of development, right, before they're real high, till they have high productivity. It's different now. Now they come in, they play a year in college, right, 6 months in college, and then they jump to the NBA. Soon, it's going to be they played in high school and jump to the NBA. Okay, LeBron could do it successfully, right? Kobe could do it successfully. Even Kobe Bryant, his first 2 years, he came off the bench and didn't get that much playing time, right? You had these guys that could do it successfully.
Squad, though, right? Like he was playing behind Eddie Jones.
Eddie
Kevin
Jones.
Knox is playing behind. I don't know who Kevin. Kevin Knox.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I get that. I get that. Right. But, every player is not Kobe Bryant. Every player is not LeBron. Every player is not Kevin Garnett, Moses Malone. You know what I'm saying? They're not these guys. So now you're really going to have, teams are really going to have to put in place developmental systems. You know what I'm saying? And really start taking guys that are coming in at 17 or 18 years old. I don't know if maybe the age limit is going to be 18. Taking guys that come in at 18 and really have a developmental process. You know what I'm saying? And, the way that they look at developing and working with players is really going to have to change because there's going to be a slew of players that come in at that young age because this is what NBA teams are going to do. They're not going to look at guys who played in college. They will look at guys who played in college, and they're going to know that some guys who played in college might be able to come in and give you some productivity right now. But a lot of teams are going to be looking at young players that they say, yeah, this guy's been in college for 4 years and he can give us something right now, but he's probably capped out at what he can do. But this guy has the chance to be a star, a superstar with the talent that he has. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna go more that way now. And now what's gonna happen is usually your late draft picks, your second round draft picks, a lot of times they're picking players that were seniors in college and stuff like that. You get the Mitchell Robinsons and some of those guys, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times they're picking some of those players because they're like, okay, if I got a late, or if I'm picking in the second round, maybe I could take a chance on a guy that was a senior and can come in and give me something now. You do get the guys that are very young and something happened crazy in college, like with Mitchell Robinson or whatever it is, and you get them now. But now it's going to be second round picks. It's going to be late round picks. Getting all these guys out of high school that they say, in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years maybe, this guy is going to be something. You know what I'm saying? How do we develop this guy?
That's going to make it more speculative, right? Because the league had that at one point. I remember when Kwame Brown came out and he was a bust and whatever. I hate to use the word bust, but, he didn't work out and whatever else. And that's why I think they went to this. And I think then I guess people were threatening a lawsuit, so now they're going back. But think about if you're a franchise and you put millions of dollars into guys, and to your point, you're 18, 19, but you can't help me today. I'm loading all this money into you, and I got a fan base that wants us to at least have guys to play. Because, again, when I look at Knox, I'm excited about him. And I think he's got lots of talent. But, again, you and I discussed the motor. And Calipari swore by it, whatever else is. But maybe that's part of Calipari's gig. He's going to swear by all his guys. I don't know. But to me, I just say, if he wasn't, it just concerns me that whether it's work ethic, whether he's just not doing what Miller wants him to do, it's a concern to me because if I don't want to think we missed on this guy, and I understand your point. You know, you got a young guy, he's got a higher ceiling than a kid who's a 4-year kid or a 3-year kid. But it just seems to me like it becomes more speculative, and luck becomes more of a thing. Because what can you
Yeah.
The point that you raised a couple of weeks ago that I thought rang in my head, right, was when you talk about the kid can't buy a beer yet. I laugh about that, right? Because it's true. This kid can't even buy a drink, right? He's playing PlayStation when he's on the road. Yet, you know, we're pinning our fortunes on his back. And I agree with you that, you know, guys like Isaiah who came out after their sophomore year, Magic, Bird, that's a different era, different players, and those were once-in-a-lifetime guys, generational talents, right? But, you know, I just get concerned. I'm always to hear your point of view. I just want to say one more thing before I go off, though. I want to commend you, and I'm not criticizing the last guy. I know it slipped out, but I want to commend you for keeping the show clean. You know, my kids listen all the time, and I'm always trying to remind them that that men don't have to speak a certain way to each other, especially in communities of color, that we could talk to each other in a certain way. We don't have to use certain words when we talk to each other. And I'm glad that they got to hear you actually, you know, correct someone who mistakenly used that term. I think it's important that we as men, you know, are good role models. And when you do it, it makes it easier for guys like me raising my kids. Listen, have a great night, man. And I'll be listening to you on that other platform tomorrow night. Good evening.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And yeah, I do think I agree with him. I think it's very important that we learn how to communicate, you know, without having to use, you know, language, you know, that type of language all the time. It's very important, you know, and I'm going to tell you from experience, just working with kids who've been in juvenile detention centers and all kinds of stuff like that, doing mock interviews with them, you know, they will go into an interview and use slang or curse and not understand that you're not going to get a job that way. So it is important, you know what I mean? It is important that we, you know, listen, you know, people are going to use slang, and we do use slang on this show and stuff like that. You know, there's a way that you go about doing it, but it's important to be able to speak respectful. So I thank you for that. Appreciate that, for recognizing that. And I know Rob the Knick, you know, was slipped out. Things like that happen every once in a while, you know what I'm saying? And so I just want to keep the show clean. But I do want to answer RJ in the YouTube chat. Asked me 2 questions. One, he said, one is a statement. He said, you know, when we start getting to, you know, these young guys at 18 coming into the league, you know, now you're talking about, you know, you're really taking a chance. You know, it's like betting. I mean, the lottery is like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? Every time that you draft somebody in a lottery, you know, you're rolling the dice every time. The only sure thing, and this is not even a sure thing, right? It's not even a sure thing in free agency, but in a free agency, at least those players have a body of work. And you can look at their body of work in the NBA, right? And say, okay, this guy has shown that they can produce on this level. So that's why, you know, free agency, so many people look towards free agency. With the young guys, you don't know if they can produce on this level. You don't know what going up against 30-year-old men is going to do to their psyche. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, the NBA is going to have to change the way that they think about drafting these young kids. They got to change the way that they think about drafting these young kids and the way that, you know, players develop and how it's going to become, not at this point, we're not there yet, but when you're talking about guys at 18, a whole bunch of kids at 18 coming into the NBA, now you're looking at the way that they do things in Europe, you know, with Kristaps Porzingis, Frank Ntilikina, Luka Doncic, where they played professional ball from the time they was 14 years old. You know what I mean? And they were put through this whole developmental program, you know, to continue developing them as players and stuff like that. You know, it's going to be almost become like that in the U.S. for some of these young guys. You know, you're talking 18 years old and playing professional basketball. Obviously, it's been done with, you know, a bunch of players in the past, but now you're talking about the masses of them looking to say, I might be able to make it to the NBA. Obviously, there's going to be some players that can't make it to the NBA. I think that there should be something that's in place where these guys can put themselves in the draft. If they're not drafted, they can still go to college. I think something should be put into place to help protect them so that you can take a chance. Okay, you know what? I'm going to try to make it to the NBA. Maybe it's just the simple fact that you don't get an agent. I don't know. But you're going to try to get into the NBA. You don't make it into the NBA. You don't get drafted. You don't make it to a G League team. Then maybe you could still go to college and get a scholarship or something like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be a lot of guys. There's going to be a lot of guys that think they can make it into the NBA and feel like they can make it in this and that and this and that. Then they might miss out on an education. You know what I mean? On the flip side, it's going to open up guys who do understand where they stand in the pantheon of players are going to say, you know what? I'll let all them guys go try to make it to the NBA. I'm going to accept this scholarship, and I'm going to go for all 4 years. So, we'll see how that, that's going to be something different. But the NBA, teams in the NBA is going to have to learn how to develop. I want to give a big shout out to Silica Wicked Films. Thank you for becoming a member. And I do want to remind everyone that if you are currently a member, you can look in the comments in my community section. You can look in the comments, and there's a link there where you can purchase tickets to the Knicks and Nets on January 26th. Hurry up, though, because they're going to go fast. There's a limited number of tickets. Right now, I think there are 20 tickets left. So if you want to get those tickets, make sure you jump in there and get those tickets now before they're gone. Right? And then they're going to open up Thursday. This Thursday at 12 noon, they're going to open up to everybody. And when they open up to everybody, they'll be available for about a week. The deadline to purchase them is going to be a week before they get shut off. So you're going to want to get in there and purchase them quick. All right. I'm going to get to the guys in the video chat, and then I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Because I got to get ready. I got to get ready for tomorrow. All right. So I'm going to get with these guys and get these guys' last words, their thoughts on the Knicks Lakers. Anything else they want to touch on, and then I'm out of here. All right, I'm going to start with you, Guillermo. Guillermo, go ahead. Yeah. You're live, man. I see you just made it home from the gym.
No, I actually went to go do some laundry, but
Oh, you was at a laundromat? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in a laundromat the whole time, but
when you called in, it looked like you was at the gym. Sounded like you was at the gym.
It just had a nice background, but if you look
all right.
Crappy laundry. But
oh, okay.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I was just looking at these Lakers, right? And I'm just trying to look at some stats right now. So tonight's game sucks because it's like, yeah, I want the development, and this is not a game we expected to win. But then you look at it, it's like, damn, man, just if this happened, the techs and the free throws, like we're right there. But it is what it is. You move on. But again, to something that Rob the Knicks said, I like the chemistry. It's improving on his team, especially on offense, on defense. Still need better communication. Still need better idea of when to switch. So when I look at these Lakers, right, the Lakers actually, they have really weird stats, right? So they're one of the top teams in spot up play, but the ball handler in terms of like they run pick and roll, obviously a lot with LeBron and your boy AD, but the ball handler is not that efficient, or he's not that good per se. So essentially, I don't know. I have to watch probably more games of it, but I'm assuming LeBron James doesn't like to stop and pop. So we have to switch properly. You probably don't. It sounds crazy. You probably don't have to follow him. You probably can go under screens because he's probably not going to shoot off the pick because he's probably looking for AD to get that alley because you know how he likes to keep driving after the pick and roll. So I'm just trying to go through things right now. Right now, they have guys like KCP. They have a few shoots who can hit the three, but again, 3-point shooting is not, one of their stronger fortes. Looking at it, they actually shoot fairly poor. They shoot around 35%, which is league average, not poor, but I think it's around league average. So, I mean, look, LeBron James and Lakers, we know they like to play one way. They have a type A way of playing, high pick and roll, pass out to perimeter guys. I think our defense has to be honest. Mitchell Robinson and whoever the ball denier is or defender or LeBron James, they have to have proper communication because, again, Mitchell Robinson can disrupt those alleys. And he's playing with a guy with his size, so he's not playing with a guy who has a lower center of gravity against him. LeBron James, where he likes to shoot his threes off the left hand, step back usually. He can hit them, spot up from the center sometimes, stuff like that. But you know what it is? Step back on the left and then hit the three. That's his forte. Other than that, he's usually trying to drive. He doesn't like to drive at the end of games when it's close because he don't want to go to foul shot. So we got to shut down guys like Kuzma, KCP. Don't make sure those guys don't get hot. And overall, I think we should play bully ball. The Lakers, to me, they're a flash team. They're not necessarily the toughest teams. They have been beating a lot of teams by double digits here and there. But they're a team that I think if you stay in it, you could beat them. And I'm not saying Knicks are going to win, but I just don't think they're as tough as people make them out to be. And I don't really like LeBron, so anytime I get to just kind of ish on him, I will. But anyway, salute to you, man. I guess when's the game, tomorrow?
The game is Tuesday.
Tuesday, my bad. So yeah, I'll be on the next stream, man. But yeah, hopefully Knicks can pull one out, man. Because again, this team is like a few things here and there. We just got to clean up, and our win-loss records. Even though I'm not looking at that right now, is whatever. But wins obviously would make this team play a lot better. And again, for anybody who's saying that RJ is a bust, like just shut up. The boy looked great tonight and looked really good tonight. Let me say, especially in the beginning of the game. So, and again, I agree with you in terms of taking it slow. And this is my last thing I'm saying. I agree with you taking it slow. One thing I disagree with you, Sim, about the players, and we discussed in the chat, is that look, you come into NBA. I understand these kids are coming in really young. But you yourself are still making a decision to come to the NBA. No one told you to come to the NBA. If you want more development, take less money, spend more years in college, develop your game, and then come in for less money, but you come in more developed. So, and yes, I do agree. Look, all these coaches out here, assistant coaches, they need to develop these players because all these guys have all these titles and these kids are flopping out of nowhere. So a lot of the blame also goes to assistant coaches and coaches as well too. If you come into the NBA, bro, a lot of the onus is on you to make up, whether you're 19, whether you're 8 or not 18, but 19, 20. You got to come in and have that impetus to want to be better and great and evolve constantly. So a lot of that development is on you. If you want to come and take the money to shoot deals, blah, blah, you got to also take the responsibility and accountability to be a better player each and every game. So
no, I agree with you. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you there. That's, the kids got to take that responsibility. They got to understand, what they're getting into. But, teams to protect themselves are going to have to put in some developmental system because guys coming in at 18, even, knowing, if a kid comes in and he knows I got to put in the work, he's got to, there's still a lot of work that's got to be done because they're going to be super raw, most of them. It's going to be the rare one that comes in and they're like really, really ready to go. Most of them that come in, if they get drafted at 18, they're going to have a lot of work.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna
but you are taking the money.
You are taking the money. I mean, the thing is this: you're taking the money, so you should be prepared to put in the work. But teams are they're gonna need to have good systems in place to help develop the kids. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you get a kid that doesn't put in the work, then they're gonna go by the wayside. As long as the kid is putting in the work, teams are just gonna have to make sure that they have developmental, good systems in there to help them develop. Because it's gonna be kids all over the place getting in, and the NBA is gonna have to, make sure that these kids. Like, I know when I was going into college, right? And, there was all these student loans and all this stuff available. Nobody really sat down and explained a damn thing. There was a big, giant seminar, and I had no clue what the hell they were talking about. I was like, promissory note, what, this, that. I didn't know what they were talking about. You know what I mean? So I'm 18 years old going into college and I got all these people around offering me credit cards and all this crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? And me with just being afraid to make a mistake financially, I was like, nope. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of kids, they're just like, oh yeah, credit card. Oh yeah, this and that. Yep. So I think the NBA too should, take some responsibility with so many young kids coming in to say, all right, well, we're gonna try to put into place something so that they understand what they're getting into and make sure that they got some people in place. And maybe the players union puts in some have some like a mentor program. You know what I mean? Where not just per team, but where some players in the NBA say, yeah, I'll agree to sit down and talk with some of these players and stuff like that. We'll see how that works out. It's gonna be, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Nate, go ahead, man. Couple last words, bro.
Yeah, man. On that point of the NBA allowing 18-year-olds to come straight, I don't know if it's a good idea for the NBA. I don't think the NBA needs to get younger. I mean, if anything, I think we need to see more seasoned people coming into the league. Um, and I think also too that it's going to hurt the college game too because now all these top players are just going to go straight to the NBA, so they're not even going to try to get a degree. I would love for the to adopt like the NFL does. Like in the NFL, you can't leave until you are a junior, or if you redshirted, you could leave your sophomore year. I think the NBA should do that. I think they at least should require them to go at least 2 years college, then they can make the jump to the NBA because
See, I'm on both sides of the coin here a little bit because I believe that the NBA should have some systems in place, to help these young kids come along. But I also don't feel that you should limit someone if I don't know.
I think also too they should pay the players in college too. I think they should give them some kind of compensation because if they were to do that, then I think they would stay in college because that's one of the big reasons why they jump so quickly.
I get that. Yep, I agree. I agree. But I feel like if a player is able to play in the NBA, they should be able to play in the NBA out of high school.
But are they really ready? That's my question.
I mean, the rare player will, and then you're going to have some players that, are on the squad and, and not playing. You're going to have some players that go to the G League, and still come out of high school making $50,000 a year, which probably isn't too bad for most people, right? I think that they should have the opportunity. If you can make it, you can make it. No one complains if a kid graduates from high school and starts working a construction job. Nobody complains about that. Right? Nobody cares. If it's like, okay, you know what? You making $20 an hour working construction. If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. If that's the way that your career path goes, then that's the way that your career path is going to go. So yeah, I mean, I think they should have that opportunity. Obviously, they can choose whether or not they want to try to play in the NBA or play professional basketball or not. When people. You got to have good people around you to be able to say, you're probably not going to make it, or maybe you are going to make it, I just don't know if they should be limited, though. I don't know. Evergreen, coming to you, man, and then I'm out of here.
All right, we lose tomorrow's game. Well, not tomorrow's game, Tuesday's game. We lose that game by 12. RJ and Reggie have a good games. Reggie specifically stretching the floor, and RJ hopefully he can exploit Caldwell Pope with driving if Randall gives the ball up decently, which I feel he should because the majority of his points are coming from the mid range, and I think he will get shut down by the bigs on the defensive end from the Lakers. To include LeBron, paying a little bit of defense he's got in the paint. But I do think we lose that game. I disagree with Nate in regards to forcing NBA players to play at the junior level. Look, dude, if you're ready to play, you're ready to play, right? And that's all up on somebody else seeing, what you're capable of doing. So hell, if they get kids out of elementary school that's ready to play, freaking put them in sneakers and let them play. That's my opinion. But yes, I definitely agree with him though in regards to them, the NCAA compensating the players tremendously, especially the multi-million and billion-dollar franchises on the college side. There's all profit off of the backs of these young players. So I'm not even gonna get into that because I got huge views about that. But in regards to the Knicks tomorrow or Tuesday, I think we win. I think we lose that game by 12. I'm just gonna pick a random number, and hopefully I get it, and I can come on in the next chat and sound like I'm a god or something for predicting the right number.
I feel you, man.
I think we lose by 12. And I don't know how Morris statistically has done pretty well at playing solid defense. against LeBron, but I don't know if LeBron has had the same amount of talent on any team he's ever played for. So I think that Morris may have trouble, not necessarily staying in front of LeBron, but really stopping the ball, stopping him from facilitating. So I think LeBron is probably going to go off on a really big assist night tomorrow. Depending on how Mitchell Robinson controls the paint and keeping AD out of scoring, but we definitely lose this game tomorrow. Tuesday. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We lose the game. I'm hoping and praying for the 12 point loss. I'm hoping and praying for that.
Right.
But
Hey.
I think we get blown out. Blown out.
I hope not. I just want I want to see a good competitive game, man. But hey, appreciate you for being here with me, man. I'm about to head off for the night. Oh, I got Ernesto here still. Appreciate it, Evergreen, man. Let me let Ernesto get 30 seconds in, and then I'm out of here.
All right.
Ernesto, go ahead, man. Get 30 seconds in, then I'm out.
Well, Sam, what I want to say is, man, I want to thank you personally for the platform that you provide us, or us diehard Knicks fans. That we need our Knicks fix. We need to talk about our Knicks almost 24/7. And I would like to, invite everybody out there in the chat, man, to just through word of mouth, to tell any other Knicks fans that whether it's relative, friends, tell them about the channel. I mean, been looking at, your subs, and you've been around that 10,000 subs for like around almost the last 6 months or so. So I guess we're not doing our jobs of putting, the show, spreading the show through word of mouth. We're not doing a good job of that, man. I guess we want to, keep it to ourselves, but we need to spread the news about the show, man. I'm down here in Miami. I don't know any Knicks fans other than my brother, and my brother's he's one of those casual Knicks fans who doesn't even watch games. He doesn't even watch the games because the Knicks have been sucking forever, so he doesn't even deal with that. But for those of you that live in the tri-state area up in New York, wherever you are, whoever that's a Knicks fan, let them know about the show. Invite them in. Tell them to get on here. This is a great conversation piece for all of us here. We always come here to to unwind and to unravel, and I just appreciate the platform, Sim. To be honest with you, man, from the bottom of my heart, man. Thanks, man.
Appreciate that, man.
When I'm not in the appearing, I'm usually in the chat. I know you put in the work, man. You do all these post-game shows. You do the pre-game shows. Any news that comes out, you do a video on the Knicks. So you putting all that hard work, man, and I want to see it pay off for you big time, brother.
I appreciate it, man.
So everybody out there, man, just let's help Sim get some subs, man. At least by the end of the year, at least 15K, man. So by the time Christmas comes around next year, this year, at least 15K.
This year.
I want to see it minimum. So.
All right, I appreciate that.
And as far as the Lakers, look, I mean, I don't really care about the wins. All I want to see our youth progress. I want to give them playing time. So let's get rid of some of these vets by February 6th. Let's get them out of here. They're on 1-year deals. They're not going to be here for the long run. And let's emphasize on what we need to focus on, which is our youth. And let's get these guys playing time, and let's get them playing the right way.
All right, man.
That's all I do.
All right. Well, I'll catch you, I guess. What's tomorrow? Oh, yeah, tomorrow I start the Knicks Weekly, and then I'll be doing a game preview tomorrow. And then, of course, on Tuesday night, I'll be on after the game, man. So I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I appreciate you too, brother. Peace.
All right, man.
Peace, everybody.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm up out of here. Thank you guys for being here. We had a lot of good discussions here on the show. And I'm looking forward. Remember, tomorrow, Knicks Weekly, Sportscaster. I'll do a little video just beforehand, so that I can get some people to jump on over to Sportscaster. As a matter of fact, I might do the game preview just before I do Sportscaster, so you all can join me on Sportscaster. That might be what I do. All right. But anyway, I'm up out of here. All right. Have a great start to your week, everyone. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.